Full screen.
Well, I say every day it's a getting closer to taking a bath with my fucking toaster.
We're not qualified.
Explorers in the further regions of experience.
I understand. If you do not listen, then the hell with you.
You should unmute yourself and start that again. Please.
Sam?
Yeah,
There we go.
it played on YouTube. I don't know what's going on here. It looks like we're all clear on the YouTube side.
You're live.
Yeah, for some reason it's
But you're
showing.
supposed to come in and say greetings and salutations. Do that. Do the thing.
Okay, greetings, salutations, and welcome to the 149th episode of Screaming Into the Void. Man, it's a shit show today. I don't know what's going on with the StreamYard software, but like I've got a fucking black screen right now. And it's showing everything's cool on the YouTube side. Everybody could see everything on there. It played the video and everything, you know. So I don't know what the deal is with that. I might have to reset my.
Yeah, go ahead. We'll hold it down, bro.
Dealio here.
Yeah.
So just one moment, folks. One moment. Sasquatch, Abe, introduce yourselves.
He's Abe. I'm Sasquatch. That's done. Most of you have seen us before. If you haven't, you haven't been peeking through the right windows.
Yep.
You want to try?
And that's your lot. God damn it.
Better. I can
All
see
better.
things.
Yay.
Welcome in,
Sweet.
everybody. Welcome into the show. So yeah, I don't know again what that was. That was a problem with the browser, or it was a problem with StreamYard or something like that. I don't know. I saw something similar like that last night on another person's stream, but it was very, very weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're here. We're good to go. We got some things to talk about. I got a couple of videos advertised with the tweet that I put out that we will be hopefully getting to at some point. But first, we'll probably be getting into some other topics that were brought up backstage here. And all right. But before we do, we are live currently on two separate YouTube channels, Samuel the Infamous and Caucasian Sasquatch. We're also live on Twix and Rumble. If you're in any of those places, please do drop a comment so we see you're here. And I'm about to say hello to the chat. But first, Clue, long time no see. Welcome in, brother.
Yo, what's up?
What's up, Clue?
Not much.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Good to have you. Good to have you, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and say hello to the chat, and then we'll get into it. Sasquatch brought up some interesting shit backstage. So, JB, welcome in, dude. Good to see you. We've got BTK with us. Howdy, Static. D-Day Direwolf, welcome in. We have Peace Dynamo. Hello, welcome. We got John Paul. That is a Paul, I think, right? P-O-L, Paul. Jason Godet. Godet. I don't know. It looks French, dude.
Yeah, he's one of them Canuckistan folks. We don't have to pronounce his name right.
Fair enough. Yeah, they don't require me to speak French in the States, so I don't. Welcome in, everybody. So like I said, we're in all those locations. If you're in any of those places, let us know you're here. And we'll do our best to acknowledge your presence. We do probably have some things we're going to get into tonight. Up on the docket, probably for later in the show, we're going to talk a little bit about cannibal robots. And if you all are familiar with the video game series Portal and Portal 2, apparently the weighted companion cube has a real life equivalent. So we'll get into that too. yeah. So, you see that?
Should be
Sasquatch
interesting.
is given? That's the same thing I did when I saw it. But first, Sasquatch, why don't you lead us off with the topic that you had?
Okay. All right. So I was shocked and appalled, I say, when imagine my shock when I wake up and I'm scrolling through my little newsy things that people send me. And it turns out that the UK is going to let people 16 years old vote.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Indeed.
I know how institutions work. I've actually hammered on this particular point because I don't know if you remember a few years ago, there was a really big push to try to reduce the voting age in the US and it didn't fly, but that don't mean they've given up. That just means they failed that time. What happens if you take students who are fully institutionalized into the system and allow them to vote?
Mm-hmm.
They vote the way the system tells them to.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Every time.
Which completely locks the door on any oppositional parties. All other parties will suddenly become merely a flagship for opposition and nothing else. They'll all be controlled by the fact that the vote is manipulated through the schools and not through actual, word of mouth or debate or policies or anything like that. I predict an absolute fall of Britain. Get out while you still can. Set something on fire when you go. It will help.
Indeed. We actually talked a little bit about something similar last night on SITV or on this is SITV. I don't know where my head's at. On Abyssal Musings. It was kind enough to stop in there, and I mentioned to him, I was like, dude, you should just come to Wyoming because, like, he was saying they can't even defend themselves at all. Like, at all. It's completely illegal to defend your life in the UK now, which it's not in Wyoming. In fact, you can shoot someone for sleeping with your wife here.
Sounds pretty legit.
Yeah, we're very old west that way.
Yeah.
But I don't think it can get worse than what we have now, allowing college kids to vote, because that's a captive audience. No parents.
I hear you.
Parents.
Wrong, Clue. You're wrong. Here's the thing. The students, the actual high school students, are full-on state-mandated captive audience. College students, not all people that are college age go to college. And so they're not all culturally captive.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
The students in a high school are so culturally captive, I guarantee you there will be a grade associated with which way you vote. Mark my words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or how you speaking during election season.
You guys are all familiar with social credit scores.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've
That's
seen
just
Black Mirror.
This is just the grade thing, right? That Sasquatch brings up. I think that's absolutely legit because they wouldn't just use that to manipulate you into doing what they wanted. They use that to get you used to the idea that you were going to be graded on everything you say and do throughout the rest of your life, and punished accordingly.
You remember that whole myth and legend you hear about the school to prison pipeline? It's not a myth. It is a reality. Go look at your average high school in America, and it looks just like your average prison in America. The difference is prison is basically criminal college, and they don't indoctrinate people in there.
Yeah.
And they still have the bail system.
High schools are complete trash. They are totally culturally captive to one side of this. Your unions, your collectivists, your fucking Nazi. Those people, right? And you know which way those people vote. They always vote to rock the boat. They always vote for more free stuff, more Gibbs. Right? Anything to break the federal government, they'll vote for it. That's everything that USAID was the whole time. It was just a free tap of free money directed directly back into an internal malarkey box to be able to do their own propaganda. Yeah. So this is just another way of doing the same thing. But in this case, it's happening to the UK first, and we're going to get to witness it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's a damn tragedy.
I mean, it sucks.
And there's nothing we can
know,
do about it either.
Sasquatch is right. Your country is a dry run.
Yeah.
You know, same thing.
You think that'll go through?
Yes, I think it's already gone through at this point. But this has been done before. And in the early days of Maoist China, after they got rid of all the old farmers and the old factory workers that loved their Chinese ancestors and stuff, one of the things they did was they instituted a voting regimen and then arranged for it so that only the people who voted the right way were allowed to vote. And one of the things they did was allow students that were in schools to vote in order to rig elections in a particular direction. And this is classic subversion techniques. It's brilliant and terrifying.
I mean, bearing in mind, our government recently has just voted in favor of. Originally, it was posited as a euthanasia bill to help people that were severely disabled, that were going to have a terrible quality of life for what little bit of life they were going to have left. And the government stuffed that law full of so much other bullshit that it's made abortion up to the point of birth legal now in this country. It's disgusting.
It is.
And to say that we're not happy about it is a little bit of an understatement.
Right. I don't suppose you heard about the ruling in California a couple of years ago, where not only can they go up to birth, but if anything happens to an infant after birth for 7 days after anything happens in there, the coroner can just opt not to do an inquest.
Fuck it, just skip all the bullshit and go to age 18. You can kill the kid until their 17th birthday.
Why not 99?
I hear you, bro, and I'm thinking that might not be such a bad idea. There's a few of these kids out here I think might. Never mind.
If politicians become such a cancer on your society, why can I not abort them to save the body itself?
That's a good point.
I mean,
cancer in Congress, you gotta get the virus.
The politicians voted against it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's almost like the cancer's got its own interests.
Yeah.
Fucking bastards.
BTK is saying there are allegedly 1 billion missing citizens of Red China. I don't think they're missing. I think they got old and they died and they didn't get replaced.
Yeah, they've been overinflating their population numbers for years.
Yeah, I think there was a sharp decline very, very recently, but I don't think it was because they just up and went missing. I think it was just because the one child policy and the restrictions on family and procreation.
They just all went for a walk.
Negative effect on their ability to sustain their population.
Yeah.
So hey, Teal, good to see you, man. You can. Just need a majority to go along. I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true. I was just saying the other day, this in theory, right? We have a representative Democratic Congress, right? In a constitutional republic, right? In theory, these guys are represented to vote on the behalf of the people who elected them. Right, to represent the interests of the majority of the people who elected them and put them into office in the first place. But they never do that, right? They never do that. They get in there and then they do whatever it is that they wanted to do, whatever pet projects they had, whatever somebody else pays them to do. Yep. It's a mess. They don't represent the people. I'm assuming I don't know exactly how it works with Parliament. I don't know if I know you guys have elections, but I'm not sure exactly if they're the same as ours, or does everybody get a vote, or how does that work? Because I know that each of the MPs is supposed to represent like a district or a village or some shit, right?
Well, yeah, we have universal suffrage that's based on a first past the post system, right? And even now, despite the fact that people have been calling for electoral reform for years, it's only now that alternative political parties to the big two have started to make headway in terms of popularity polls and local elections, that they now want to change the way that elections are run.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
What? And here's the thing. Like, you guys have two houses, right? House of Lords and House of Commons. And House of Commons is supposed to represent the average person, correct?
Yes.
But they don't.
No.
Yeah.
Do you think you'll find a single person in Parliament that isn't already a millionaire?
No,
not for long.
No,
not for long. If they get into Parliament, amazingly, they become a millionaire almost immediately. Very much like our Congress in that point.
Exactly. Yeah. They're the same kind of cunts, just like people like Bernie Sanders, who spend their entire lives criticizing a system, and the second that system starts to benefit them in a most glorious way, all of a sudden, notice, especially with Bernie Sanders, right?
It was the millionaires and the billionaires, but now it's just the billionaires because
it's just the billionaires now, yeah, because he's a millionaire.
Yeah.
And the rest of us are left living in the fucking dirt. He doesn't
even say billionaires anymore. He says oligarchs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, that means
it's like
that's because he's edging towards that millionaire status.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Close. He's at 9 figures.
And it's like, hold on, buddy, you're part of the government, aren't you? You are also part of an oligarch.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet his language will change again in the next few years if he survives.
Bernie is so wishy-washy that I think they're probably just going to leave him alone, honestly, because they're he's got days like he had an interview on Andrew Schultz's podcast a couple of months ago, right?
Yeah.
Where he came out and he just basically said, yeah, the entire left-wing party in the government is completely full of shit and always has been and all that stuff. And he came out and he said that stuff, but he didn't say that he disagreed with them on everything. And it wasn't long after that where he was just like, he's like, oh yeah, the right wing sucks, blah, blah, blah. We need to go back to doing this and that. It's like I don't think that he believes anything that doesn't directly benefit his pocketbook, honestly.
Of course not. Now, picture an entire governmental infrastructure that is composed almost exclusively of Bernie Sanders hypocrites. That is the UK government.
Mm-hmm.
It's safe to say they're not terribly popular.
Yeah, they're not that popular over here either. I mean, I don't know if you recall during the election last year, they were sending representatives to swing districts here in the States to stump for American candidates, which, by the way, is foreign election interference.
Yeah, literally foreign interference.
Like you can sit in your little chair in your parliament or whatever and say, hey, I think this guy would be the best guy over in that country. Sure.
Yeah.
But if you come over here and you start knocking on fucking people's doors saying you have to vote this way, like, you're in the wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah. It's the fucking Labour Party. They're the worst. They are the fucking worst. They gave up giving a shit about working class British people like 70 years ago. And they've been the same millionaire class of champagne socialist dickheads ever since. And we can't get rid of them.
Yeah.
The West is dead.
Here's the thing. You can get rid of them, but it's going to require something that the British people are not comfortable doing.
I mean, I would gladly get rid of them in all manners of ways, none of which I could say online right now because I'd get fucking arrested.
Yeah, that's true. But I can say it.
And I think you should.
End it with in GTA 6, then you can say it.
My American brothers and sisters, please say everything that we cannot.
Look, it's really simple. We wrote the most famous breakup letter in the world back in like 1775, right?
Yeah.
And there was no precedent for that. Technically, we were under British rule. We were colonials. We were British citizens at that time.
Yeah.
We were under British law. And British law did not allow for there colonials to just up and fucking split off from them, right? That's not a thing that existed in their law books at the time, right? But it happened nonetheless, right? And I think honestly, 1776 Part 2 needs to happen on UK soil.
Yeah, I agree.
I think you guys, I know it's easier said than done. It always is. But unless the average people take their country back, this shit's only going to get worse.
The unfortunate reality is that at some point we're all going to have to be wearing red, and the streets are going to have to be painted with other people's memories. And we don't like that, because for us that's very un-British.
Yeah.
The violent option isn't really the way that we choose to go. Generally, most of the history of the British Empire is largely built around trade relationships. If we have to fight, we will fight, and you will lose. But that also applies to governments that we don't like.
Yeah. And that's the thing. And we have caveats built into our shit in case our government does go, like beyond the point of no return, which arguably it has and has been for some time. But where the people of this country reserve the right to remove the corrupt government and replace it with one that isn't.
Technically, we reserve the right to withdraw consent. And that's essentially all we get. Everything else follows as a matter of course.
Yeah. Yeah. So,
our democracy traditionally has relied upon nothing more, aside from things like the Magna Carta, than a gentleman's agreement that we are governed by consent.
Mm-hmm.
And at the end of the day, theoretically, the king can still take control of the country, even though the likelihood of that is virtually zero.
He'd have to take
that's still a possibility
out of his mouth first, but yeah.
Exactly, yeah. But the fact that that's even a possibility, if that's even a 0.0001% possibility, you've got to treat that as a certainty eventually.
Mm-hmm.
And we have politicians that will rewrite the boundaries of the electoral districts, as you would know them, in our country to make sure that they always win.
Yeah, they call that gerrymandering over here.
Yeah. How the fuck is that democracy?
It's not. Well,
it's treason.
I have trouble with the word democracy. I have a lot of trouble with the word democracy because democracy is it's tyranny of the majority. It's, as they say, two wolves and a sheep deciding who's for dinner, right? Democracy is a flawed thing, a very flawed thing. I saw this map the other day that said like, oh, well, we're gonna rank all the countries by whether or not they're a pure or true democracy, a full democracy, or they're full authoritarian on this like sliding scale. And the fact of the matter is there's no such thing as a full democracy, because a full democracy inevitably slides into pure authoritarianism, or by tyranny of the majority, or anarchy, which again gives rise to the possibility of authoritarianism. Like democracy is a fucking lie. It's a sham, right?
Well, this is why the United States is a constitutional republic and not 100%. Technically a democracy.
100%. And I was arguing with an AI about it, and it kept bringing up all these examples like Norway and Sweden. And I'm like, okay, Norway and Sweden are both dem socks and welfare states, so that's not pure democracy either. And then it brought up ancient Athens, and I was like, you do realize that only men of means had the right to vote in Athens? No women, no children, no insane people, and no slaves were allowed to vote, thus not a pure democracy.
The actual number of people that could vote in ancient Athens was a tiny fraction of the population.
I think
there was no such thing as universal suffrage.
Out of about 200,000 people, only 30,000 of them had a vote.
Yeah.
Something like that. So, yeah.
If that, yeah.
And I mean, pure democracy doesn't work. And the fact of the matter is, it has never worked, right?
Yeah.
It's which is why we have the representative republic, right? So
Yeah,
like
well,
we have
the
democratic
government of the
principles, we have
United
democratic
States.
processes, right? But we don't have a pure democracy, because a pure democracy is like if your neighbors say you live in an HOA, and HOA is pretty much how that goes. Like if your neighbors all decide that you suck, right? They can order you to paint your lawn fucking purple. And you don't get a choice about that, or they punish you for it. That's a pure democracy.
Sasquatch?
A pure democracy is the method by which the 51% disenfranchise the 49%, and you can put that split on any topic anywhere, and that's the problem.
And this is why the basis of the American government is not based on the British one. It's based on the Roman conception of government. They figured this shit out thousands of years ago. It works.
Yeah. With some
modifiers
based on I mean, obviously they didn't get rid of all of their British roots, and they also based a lot of our justice system on the French justice system at the time.
Yeah.
Not the current French justice system, which apparently lets anybody who's wearing a turban free after they murder a bunch of journalists. But
their shit is just as retarded as ours.
Right. But at the time, the French justice system was like, and I hate saying this about them, I really do, because they're fucking French, but it kind of was the best, fairest model in the world at the time. Now, this was 250 fucking years ago.
And it was an avant-garde approach to democracy itself at the time.
Right. But
so,
we also got
someone's got to try out.
Yeah. but like there were various influences. It wasn't based on any one thing. It was like the founding fathers, they took the best ideas from multiple sources and saw how best to put them together while leaving.
Why is it that the academic elites cannot accept the idea that a group of wealthy white men 200 years ago might have actually been smarter than they are?
Because they're white.
Yeah.
That's a relatively recent
big component.
Well, today's university makes you dumb. It's the institution of higher stupidity, because people who dropped out of school, the way that they wrote, they wrote things down, is far more intelligent than these Harvard grads.
Yeah, for real shock
of today.
Yep. Hashtag deport Sam.
Right. So that's true. Cool. Though everything about our university, all that starts when we're young, right? When we're real young, right? You get into preschool, and they start indoctrinating you then, not just through the classroom, but also through the entertainment you consume, and every little thing, every little input, every bit of stimuli that's introduced to your young brain gears you towards a certain thing. Because the thing about human brains is so we form these synapses, these synaptic pathways, and in order for a synaptic pathway to form, a thing's kind of got to be repeated. Like if you do a thing once, you're not going to necessarily form that synaptic pathway, but if you do a thing multiple times, your brain's going to remember that, and it'd be like, okay, so it'd be more efficient if I form this pathway so that we could just do this the next time and the next time and the next time, because I feel like it's going to keep coming up. And the best time to form these pathways is when the brain is still forming when we're young, because then it becomes permanent. And the older they get, the more entrenched in these ideas and these actions and these thoughts they get. And by the time they get to college, half of them are commies already.
Yeah, learning starts slowing down when you start kindergarten, because you're learning super fast through your toddler years. You're picking up stuff like super fast. But then when you start school and it gets all organized and all that, that's when you start slowing down. You start to get dumb.
So I've attended a few universities because I've got a few degrees, right? And I can tell you now, the vast majority of people that are at those institutions shouldn't be there.
100%.
In fact, the vast majority of institutions that even exist shouldn't.
No, I'd agree with you. I heard recently that Harvard is attempting to quote unquote correct course due to all of the all of the wrath that they incurred from Il Donaldo Trumpo here recently. But I don't think that that's the solution. I think Harvard needs to close its doors forever.
Maybe. Yeah.
How about West Point?
I mean, isn't West Point an officer school?
Yes, it is. In fact, it's a place you can only go after you've attended a certain amount of college. So,
does it have to be Harvard that went to college?
Well, it is a college. It is an officer's college, but it is a college nonetheless. And it has all the same problems that every college has, with one exception that it could take control of, but it doesn't. They get to pick and choose who they accept. And you have to not only, it's not like most things where if, some really angry parents show up and raise hell, you have to accept them anyway. It's not like that. This is West Point, bro. You don't get in unless you're the best. And I don't know why they're not taking advantage of that particular caveat in their charter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They should.
I don't necessarily have a problem with there being an institution for officers to be educated and trained in. I think that it's not necessarily a bad idea to have your officers maybe know a little bit more than your grunts on the ground about how, tactics and military history and that sort of thing. But as far as like it running like your standard Ivy League bullshit, yeah, maybe that needs to come to an end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
I mean, for true meritocratic aims as well, something like that kind of defeats the purpose, right?
If you think about it, right, if West Point is an officer school, what are officers for, right? Officers are for leading our young men and lately women into harm's way, right?
Yeah.
And hopefully successfully leading them back out of it again, right? You don't need to memorize the Communist Manifesto to do that.
No.
But if they don't, how would they subvert the government and bring about the communist revolution? Without, I see what you're saying.
I think that soldiers should be soldiers, man. That's what I'm saying.
Right, I know. I got you. I'm just jerking your chain, bro.
So, because, and I don't know. I mean, maybe West Point and places like it are the reason that most of your grunts fucking hate officers. I don't know.
Maybe.
Possible. Just saying. Shock saying here. He says, same shit is too big to fail. Failures need to crash. So those more incentivized to create success can replay them, aka free market solution. Actually, I don't disagree with that. I think, I think that's the thing. Is so when we limit things to only certain people can do stuff, right? However you want to divide that. Doesn't matter if it's like racial, if it's social, if it's class, if it's, economic. It doesn't matter where the divide is. But if you limit it so that only these people over here can go do a thing and everybody else can't, right?
Yeah.
Then you inevitably end up with a system where the people who can do stuff continue to rig things so that only they and theirs can continue to do stuff and everybody else can't. It's a whole thing, right? So, no, I think the whole idea of free market can be applied not just to economics, but to everything across society.
Well, it's universally true as a principle. Anti-meritocracy is the death of all society.
Right.
And always will be.
Well, just even on a practical level, man, right? Take firefighters, for example, right? You hire a firefighter who's less qualified because he fits some agenda, right? And we've seen this in practice many times in the last 4 years, by the way. If you hire someone who's less qualified than someone who is more qualified, more competent, more capable to do the job.
Mm-hmm.
People fucking die. There are real world consequences when this less qualified person can't do the fucking job. Right? They got it for reasons that have nothing to do with being able to be a good firefighter.
Yeah.
You know, and we're seeing that kind of across the board with a lot of different things. Just like, meritocracy, even on a small scale level, right? You run into a burning building, you're there with 3 guys. 2 of those guys were diversity hires or whatever, right?
Yeah.
One of those diversity hires actually worked his ass off to get there, but he got hired because of diversity, but he actually is competent. The other diversity hire fill out an application and check the right boxes, doesn't know shit about anything, right?
Yeah.
Each of them comes across a room, right? There's screaming coming from each of these rooms. The job is to get in there, assess the situation, and rescue anybody who needs rescuing, right? The one guy who worked his ass off is going to get in there. The guy who was hired solely for merit, the third guy, is going to get in there. The other guy might not even get past the fucking door, right? In which case, if there's anybody on the other side, they are going to die. It costs lives. There is a real world, real consequences right here on the street level for shit like that. Now apply that nationally. You're absolutely right. It's the death of a society, anti-meritocracy. If it isn't the right person for the fucking job, it's not going to go well. Period.
But the people who are pushing for this anti-meritocracy, they don't have diversity hires working for them in key positions. Like, they got the best pilot flying them around. They got the best security. No diversity hires with the blue Congress people.
Mm-hmm.
They get the best of the best. So they believe in meritocracy. It's just you as a citizen, you shouldn't believe in it.
Well, see,
exactly,
that my point about elites getting all the best shit and keeping everyone else from it. Right? Of whatever.
Yeah, we don't believe in walls. BRB just going to fuck off back to my gated community with its own private security force.
You remember when they were shipping all those illegals off to fucking Martha's Vineyard?
Yeah.
Go Texas. That was a Texas move.
And how fast Martha's Vineyard people who were rooting for the illegals, they turned around. They're like, no, they can't be here.
They went NIMBY. They went all NIMBY.
Yep, full NIMBY. Yep.
Not in my backyard.
And they did, and it was that was honestly, I think
fucking hypocrites
should have opened for far more eyes than it actually did, because they're still doing that same shit. Like, nothing changed.
Yeah.
You know, we all got a bit of theater, and that was about it. That's all that happened with that, unfortunately. But yeah, that should have been an eye opener.
Face with it, like what Gavin Newsom did during the lockdown. Closed down all of the restaurants in California, but you see him getting fat with his private chef in a restaurant. Come on. They're open with it. That wasn't no leak. He wanted y'all to see that. Hey, I'm better than you. The rules don't apply to me. Same for Nancy Pelosi in her salon.
Fucking Gretchen Whitmer getting her goddamn hair done. You know?
Right. Yeah. Rules for you, but not for me, baby.
Rules for thee and not for me. Yeah.
Right. And while I'm not the biggest fan of the job she's doing currently, when Kristi Noem was governor of South Dakota.
I love my Kristi Noem. Shut up.
I don't hate the woman. I'm saying I don't know that she's the best person for the job she's got right now. But the job she had as governor of South Dakota, she never shut that state down. Right. And it thrived.
That's right. Why you think I chose that place as the place, my final destination in America?
Do you remember years ago?
I'm getting the fuck out of the United States. Anyway, what were you saying?
Years ago, Apple, they hired, I think it was a black woman, as like the diversity officer, like the corporate diversity officer.
That's a real
And
job.
she said, yeah, of course, yeah. Mm. She said that a room full of white men could be as diverse as a room full of anyone else, because diversity of thought is the thing that matters. And do you know what Apple did? Yeah. She said that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What?
They fired her and replaced her with a white liberal woman.
Well, I take my comment back. She's one of the good ones. Take it back. What?
Fucking unreal. The hypocrisy.
We can hire that woman in a heartbeat. Just slot her in anywhere useful. She'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that was a woman who was very capable in multiple management positions previous.
Right.
Sure, the position itself might be a bit of a bullshit role. You know,
So
but they're out here box ticking. So, yeah.
So, yeah.
And they went and did that.
Best person for the job. I don't care who that person is. Right? If whatever endeavor you undertake in your life, whatever endeavor that may be the best person for the job, whatever that takes. Right? There are no excuses then. Right? You go in, you do the great job. You know, it shouldn't matter what your demographic boxes are. You know, which boxes you've ticked.
Yes, it does.
It shouldn't, is what I said.
Oh, yeah, no, it shouldn't. Right.
So, I know it does. That's not the point.
Yes, it does.
Well, you understand my confusion then. I see.
Yeah,
yes.
yeah.
Good.
So, you know, but that's... And the problem is like tying it kind of back to the problem that Abe's having over in England, that the English are having in general, that all of Britain is having. And I would argue by extension, all of Europe is also having, but you know, separately.
I would say it is
exceptions, right?
It is basically the entire Western world that this shit is happening to.
With very few exceptions. Like Italy seems to be doing better. Hungary's definitely on the right track. There was some shit about Denmark that I think got reversed, but they were.
How's
on the right
Greece
track.
doing nowadays?
Greece, who cares about fucking Greece, man? Greece is
I think it's still broke.
trouble for the modern world.
The only reason I ask is because they were the first to enter into the concept of a scarcity marketplace.
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering if that did them any good or if they're still like scraping the bottom of the barrel over there. I don't know.
No,
as far as I'm aware, they still owe their entire economy to Germany right now, who are almost single-handedly propping them up.
And
so for all intents and purposes,
now,
Greece is now effectively a vassal state of Germany. And even the Germans are starting to fail, just like the French and the Italians and the Spaniards.
A few years back, right, when Greece was literally on fire, they had all those fires underground and all that shit, and their economy was in free fall, and they fucking begged the EU to admit them. They begged them, and of course, at the time, Germany was just the de facto head of the EU. Now it's a little bit thinner spread. I think their headquarters is in Belgium. But at the time, it was Germany's say, right? And Germany said no, and no, and no, until the begging got too much, and they was like, fine, we'll let you in. And ever since then, right, the euro has been in trouble because everybody's been paying to make up for the fact that Greece can't keep its shit together.
Yeah, because, A, the whole concept of the euro currency was fucking stupid to begin with.
Agreed.
B, they established a bunch of directives and policies and laws across all of the member states that they had to meet certain economic requirements to be part of it. So there had to be a certain degree of economic parity. And then C, just purely for expansionist means, they decided to drop the other requirements. Mm-hmm. So they let in countries like Greece and the Eastern European nations just to fuck mainly with Russia.
Right. Which
and the US.
Terrible. Well, that was
and the US.
A terrible idea because if you're talking about the Baltic regions, and I'm not even specifically referring to Ukraine specifically on this, but most of the Baltic countries, most of the former states of the USSR, right, were in ruins economically, physically. You know, I mean, Romania beautiful country, but if you've been to the cities, like it still looks the same as it did after they overthrew Ceausescu, right? And it's still got that communist give me something for free mentality. They never really let that go. They adopted a lot of like capitalist practices, but they still have that mentality of give me free shit. That's why you got to bribe everybody to get anything done over there, right? And so by
like
adding
New York.
them in,
so it's like New York City. Okay.
So by adding them in, you just dilute what you already have with the euro.
Old Blindy there in the chat, and the mighty UK left the poor EU to die.
I think
yes,
actually Greece joining the EU was the beginning of Brexit, in my opinion.
Yeah, the whole Eastern Bloc shouldn't have joined. It was tricky enough trying to just get the Western economies aligned enough as it was. But yeah, us leaving, that the whole organization will die now. We've left. Yeah. We've taken our armed forces, our nuclear weapons. We've taken our economy. And now Germany basically has to prop the whole fucking thing up on its own.
Which it can't do forever.
It can't. No.
Like, I don't think anybody could. Not forever.
Okay, no. let's look at this through something of I know we're in uncharted territory, sort of, but let's look at it through a historical lens, and let's change the definitions of borders a little bit so that it actually represents the concept of the EU, right? At this point in time, the concept of NATO is so defunct as to not be a thing because the EU occupies almost all of the NATO states. And so you don't have NATO anymore, you have the EU.
Yeah,
America, essentially. UK, few other holdouts over here.
Yeah, UK, USA, France, everybody else is just there.
Smudge all the borders inside the EU. Call that a single state. I don't know. Maybe we'll call it a fourth hike.
Right.
We'll call it a fourth hike. Right. That's really good. I wonder. I wish I'd have thought of it. Anyway, so
I was going to say let's call it Shitistan.
You smudge all the borders, and every time the EU adds a nation state or NATO adds a nation state, it simply expands the border of the EU. Now, that is a conquest. That is an acquisitional state, regardless of how you look at it. You're looking at the mechanics and philosophy of a nation, quote unquote, adding territory on the rise. But on the back end of this, it is through the means of absolute fiscal failure. And I am completely baffled how those things can be true at the same time. And I blame NATO.
Sure. I have used the term Fourth Reich as applied to certain powers behind the EU, but not necessarily the EU itself, although I can see where you would make that extension. When I think about it, I think WEF, right, is the Fourth Reich.
Yeah.
NATO is the military arm of that Fourth Reich, paid for by their allies, quote unquote, in the farther west, the U.S. The EU is just a front for that, right? And here's what I'm thinking:
the civil arm.
Look, they tried brute force the last time, and they almost succeeded, but they didn't succeed. So this time, this started with a different weapon: economics.
So. And I'm not an economist. I'm not deep enough into economy to make this analogy. But in my head, the way I see that working is the EU and its nation states do things that negatively impact the other states so that they can absorb them financially.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And once they've absorbed them financially, there's like the borders don't really mean much, right?
Yeah,
national autonomy doesn't really mean much. National identity doesn't really mean much. You're EU citizens. You're not, Hungarian or Slavic or German or you're EU citizens. You're all under one banner.
Yep.
Right. Blindy made a point there. Oh no, Adolf Trump will take over Germany and invade Poland. The thing is when Trump invades Poland, it will be like 2 parades and brass bands and shit. They're not going to resist. They'll be like, welcome in, brah.
I don't know. The
Do you know
Polish
what?
have gotten kind of hardcore about foreigners in
They
their country
are.
lately.
I was going to say
Yes,
Poland
they
is
are.
actually one of the most based countries in Europe.
True. Absolutely right. But here's the thing. When Trump shows up and he's got an army at his back and he's like, look, I know we're coming across the border, but we're here to secure the borders. They're going to look around at each other and go, worked so far.
Yeah. Wouldn't it be a bizarre irony of history if, like, Poland now invades Germany?
Oh my God, please,
And
dude.
the Germans welcome them with open arms.
That would be so strange.
Oh wow.
It would be like it'd be like the fucking Anschluss with Austria.
Hold up.
And I'm like, thank fuck you're here.
Arden Party says it'll be better to liberate Canada. I disagree. See, all the U.S. has to do, we don't have to liberate you guys. All we have to do is wait until you euthanize yourselves into nothing, and then we can come in and take the resources.
Actually, I don't think they've thought that whole concept through, because at some point in time, you're going to have so many immigrants over there that would rather be in the U.S. that they'll just vote to fucking be here. And then they are. We just have to wait. Just hold out, bro. We'll be good. Your children or your children's children will salute the American flag.
Hey, Shock, let me throw this one at you. Right, as you talk about this, he says, as I grow older, the line between criminal and mob and politician country gets blurrier. Yes, that is, and it gets worse as you grow older. Like, it came to a point where I started seeing nations as, like, different flags as street gang colors.
Yeah, they're just different gangs. Yeah.
Not only are you dead accurate with that statement, that is the intention of globalism. And nation states have nothing to fight against globalism except America. We have this one weird little thing called a constitution. And I don't think it was meant to exist in isolation. I think the purpose of the constitution is something of a manifest destiny. You can interpret that how you wish.
For the world. It's simple. And it works.
So here we are, 2025. The UK will now have 16-year-old kids who cannot be drafted, who cannot be forced, who cannot be litigated on, unless they're white, in courts without their parents, being present and whatnot, guardians or guardians of the state or whatever, however you look at that. But they can vote. What do you reckon happens? What's the next step?
I think you end up with the Teletubbies in Parliament.
They'd make fucking better decisions than the politicians we've got.
Oh my God! They're gonna elect a TikToker. This is gonna be great.
The politicians are gonna get younger and younger. AOC is gonna be considered old over there.
Wait, isn't she old?
Yeah.
She's
when she got in,
37.
you're gonna have like 22-year-old Parliament.
I can't get over that Benny Johnson video where he actually went to where she actually grew up, and she's represented herself as being like totally from the streets and all this shit.
The Bronx.
Yeah, I mean it's as bullshit as it's as bullshit as fucking Jennifer Lopez saying she's Jenny from the block. Bitch, you grew up in a fucking luxurious apartment. Shut the fuck up.
Actually, this is a good point here, Arden Party. Biggest swath of new voters created by lowering the age to 16 are Muslims.
Oh, so true. And here's another thing, and something a lot of people won't even touch with a 10-foot pole because it has one of those ISTE kind of feels to it. They're perfectly willing to subvert every law in your nation to acquire more voters for their voter block. And so your 12, 13, 14, 15-year-olds that look a little older will also be stuck in that line. And you can't check their IDs because that would be IST. And you can't check their age because that would be IST. And you can't ask their name because that would be IST. And of course, they're a natural-born citizen here.
Yeah.
Lost,
Yeah,
bro.
see if I
You're
can-
lost. Get out. Escape while you can. I got a spot over here in Georgia. It's perfect for you. I'll slap your AR in your hand. And you can just send rounds downrange all day until you get tired of it.
Sweet.
I mean, same thing's going to happen in the UK. To happen in Philippines and points like that. They weren't a majority Muslim country until they were.
Yeah.
And when that happens, it will just be a Muslim country under Muslim law.
And that is actually a factual case of the slippery slope fallacy, right? Where you hear people talking about all that trash. Well, that is one of those cases where when a voting block turns and it goes from being one way like it's been for the past 100 years to another way, suddenly they change. They've done this before. They've been doing this for 3,000 years or so.
Not even 3,000. Like the Muslims themselves have only been around for about 1,400 years, but there's 1,400 years worth of examples of them doing exactly this. They move a few of them in, and then a few of them in, and a few of them in, and they're like, "Oh, well, we'll just follow your laws and blah blah." Oh, well, we're just these little, peaceful minority. But the second that they have the majority of power, all of a sudden it's like, no, you're our bitches now. Start paying jizya.
New York City mayor.
Yes, exactly. Ilhan Omar. I blame Saladin,
aka the brotherfucker.
He hung his foot on the Muslim caliphate so hard that they completely rethought their concept of conquest. It was a byproduct of them being fought to a standstill, a murderous, debaucherous, horribly bloody standstill right on the gates of Jerusalem that forced the Muslims in general, and I don't mean it happened overnight. It wasn't an immediate thing. They became two schools of thought in their concepts of warfare. One of them was a direct physical conquest method like the previous model. The other one was a more slower, more subtle cultural, what do they call it? The religion of peace, right? These people, they're the ones who move in and they quietly vote for whatever's closest to what they're doing. And then eventually they get a candidate in there and they all vote for that candidate. It's not a question of what you believe.
Look, Wisconsin's got 3 fucking Somali Muslims in office right now. Right. And one of them was just the other day talking to Somali immigrants, not to his constituents, to Somali immigrants, saying, now that there's 3 of us here, we're going to back each other's bills and we're going to do everything we can to make sure that this country is serving our homeland, Somalia.
And there are laws and rules and our methods of governmentary bodies that permits specifically that type of takeover. It's a weak link in the American system, is that in order to pitch a bill, you have to have support for that bill. And if you don't have to worry about support for that bill and it's going to hit the floor, then you can just make the bill and submit it every year until it passes.
So I got a partial solution for that. Partial solution for that. You know how we got that rule about you got to be a natural born citizen to be president? I say you got to be a natural born citizen to hold office at all. And not only that, but if you have dual citizenship, you either renounce the other citizenship entirely or you don't get a vote.
But xenophobia, Sam.
Xenophobia is necessary.
I wonder if someone's going to come along one day and say, right, I've got a partial solution for this and a partial solution for that.
Together,
and if you put these partials together,
it's a full
it's almost like a full and maybe conclusive solution.
Would you say a final solution?
I mean,
I wouldn't say that because I'd get arrested.
No, but here's the thing, right? Like, we have too many people in office right now who have dual citizenship. Yes, they're technically citizens of the United States, but they're also citizens of somewhere else. A lot of people in office in Washington, and they should not be, in my opinion. Frankly, honestly, I think we should do away with the concept of dual citizenship in this country altogether. You want to immigrate here, you renounce your former homeland. Become American. Period.
Yeah.
No dual citizenship for anyone, in my opinion.
Can't serve 2 masters.
Exactly.
Exactly.
In my opinion. And look, if you don't want to do that, fine, but you don't get to be a citizen.
Yeah, that should be true of anywhere.
Your rule is for
it's true in most
federal
places.
level,
It's
or
not here.
is that state and local too?
Mate, it's even worse here.
Any capacity, any capacity. You cannot serve in government. You cannot hold public office if you.
I'll carry a step
alderman.
Period.
You can't even be an alderman.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll carry that statement a step further. I think we should completely eliminate foreign asset possession of American properties. And I mean this, if it's not directly involved in manufacturing, sales, or distribution, you shouldn't be able to own it and not be a citizen of the United States. You can own it if it's a business, if it's part of all that, maybe a single residence type thing. I'm not talking about a complete and total wipeout. I'm talking about these supposed individuals, and I'm not going to name the nation, but there's an interesting dragon in the East who seems to just have bottomless money to buy any old parcel of land or any old house that comes up for sale. They'll just offer you twice as much as the market rate to buy it, and they just purchase it and don't do anything with it. I wonder what the purpose of that is.
From China. From China.
And they're all called vagina.
I mean, it's that we have a disproportionate number of people in Congress right now who are both citizens of the United States and citizens of a tiny stretch of fucking worthless desert in the Middle East.
Exactly. Yep.
Right. And I don't care that they have, ties to those places. I really don't. I don't give a shit if you're from Israel or from China or Somalia or wherever the fuck you're from. If you are here and you are in a position to serve the American people, you need to be for the American people, period. All of the American people. But you can't, but you know what, who don't count as American people? Somali nationals.
We got Kenzo in chat.
For instance. Hey, Kenzo.
Homosexual.
How did you know?
But here's the thing, and I'm not. Somalia is just an example, right? Anything outside of the United States, I would apply this to. If you have allegiance to any nation that is not this nation, you need to renounce that allegiance, or you can't serve.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, a prime example is
citizenship.
I'd agree.
Yeah. The Brits who become Americans, they have to renounce any allegiance to the monarchy.
Mm-hmm.
But you should be doing that anyway.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, A, in terms of the context of becoming a citizen of another country, and also B, being a citizen of the United Kingdom. I mean, let's just become a united republic and get these fuckers out of power.
To Spain or Saudi Arabia or fucking Mongolia or whatever, right? I don't get to go into their country and be like, I'm going to divert all of your resources and attention over to the United States because that's where my loyalty really lies, even though I'm trying to be a citizen of your country. Like, you don't do that shit, right? Yeah. So why the fuck are we allowing it?
Yeah, we do the same thing. We have so many migrants that work in this country, some legally, many not. And then they send their money out of the country as remittances to their families abroad.
Mm-hmm.
That is a net drain on the economy.
Yep. Your money's supposed to circulate. Currency's supposed to circulate within its jurisdiction.
Yeah. Did they take us down?
No, I'm still up.
Okay, maybe it's just my phone.
They got you, Squatch. They got you.
They might have got me. Let's see.
No. You still seem to be up.
Yeah. I don't know why they would take it
Okay,
down.
cool.
We aren't saying
My bad. Minor panic.
Yeah, this is nowhere near the edgiest show. I remember the edgiest show. And that survived.
Yeah. Well,
Which
the
one was that?
edgiest one I think probably was the one we just did on Rumble, but yeah. We had a show a while back where I invited some people on to Rumble exclusively to talk about whether or not Christ is King is anti-Semitic.
Oh shit!
Oh, I wasn't even talking about that. I was talking about that that other show with the what was the animals and.
Oh, there's another one.
Yeah, it's still on YouTube.
I got a weird statistic for you. My concurrent viewers are at 1/3 their typical viewership, but my number of views is exactly the same as it is every week at this point.
You think it's
That is
made up?
weird.
You think it's made up?
I'm really wondering what kind of weird new things they're instigating with this recent bot reset.
YouTube fuckery.
Yeah.
So
So there's some
They got
shit
a
going with.
routine or subroutine that when you get a certain amount, do this. If Squatch equals this, then execute this.
I don't know about that, but I'm just saying we might be on the wrong. We may definitely be on the right side of history, but the wrong side of the algorithm.
Yeah, it'd be like if someone mentions Israel, do this. You're like, fuck.
Well, they have changed the algorithm somewhat. That doesn't have anything to do with the kind of topics that one brings up. There's now if people who are watching don't watch, like, subscribe, and leave a fucking comment, right? You don't get pushed.
Yeah.
So, I guess do all those things if you want us to be seen further than we are currently. But yeah, a lot of creators are getting suppressed because, you get people who come in and they watch for a little bit and they leave, and that's it. That's the whole thing. So, holy shit, we got a truism. Welcome in, brother.
Man,
got a crow in the building.
Property freaking values, dude. Like, now there's 2 of them. What are we gonna do, dude?
Hey, diverse DEI. Come on.
Hey, look.
DEI.
First and foremost, I am a white man. Number 2, I am a white albino crow, sir. Get it right. I understand you. I understand for your species, the eyesight may not be is the first thing to kind of go. But come on, bro. Come on now.
Nice.
It is. And I would apologize, but I just really don't care enough.
It doesn't help. It doesn't help that Sam put both of us at the bottom.
Yeah,
I mean, it's not a bus, Clue.
Anyway,
we fought long and hard. 400 years we wanted to be at the
We're
top.
talking about one lady sat down in the wrong part of the bus. That's what happened.
I ain't no lady. It was one black bitch. Wasn't no damn lady. Fuck out of here. But anyway,
she did sue Outkast, so I never forgave her for that.
What's going on, you glorious bastards? How you feeling?
Much love, brother.
Not too bad. I do have to point out, though, as long as we're pointing out the heroes of the past flaws, that Martin Luther King Jr. was a philandering commie.
Oh, we know.
I can, I can see that.
Yeah.
We've discussed that on many a stream.
That doesn't mean that some of his ideas weren't good ideas. I'm just saying, everybody's flawed.
Hey, you did some good speeches. Can't complain.
He did.
He also, I think, got thrown out of the Oval Office with Johnson saying, "Don't ever let that whiny bitch in here again."
Oof. I would not be surprised. That'd be
LBJ 200-year curse.
Yeah, either that or I'm confusing him with Oppenheimer and Eisenhower, which I think also happened.
Damn.
It's like, don't let that man in here again.
Eisenhower.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, you have. Have you been listening to the show? True.
Bro, I just came in. I just
woke up.
Kind of, sort of, but yeah, I just came in.
So topics are kind of ranged all over the place, but like right now, where we're at is sort of a, what are your thoughts on dual citizenship and public service?
Okay, so dual citizenship. I think we kind of go with the Robert Heinlein kind of model, Starship Trooper type of thing.
Okay.
I think that could be that. Now, in terms of dual citizenship, I don't know. I don't know if you want to do it with like, because you'd have to be like in 2 different countries and like fighting. That's 2 different wars, like double the wars for double the citizenship. I don't think that would probably be a good idea.
What happens when those 2 countries fight?
That's what I'm saying. So like, yeah. So I don't think that would work. But I think if for your native country, okay, we're hit out like this. Then, bam, you become a citizen when you were born, but you don't get like the advanced privileges to let you join the army. Now, if you wish to become a citizen in another country, then either A, you have to marry into the actual culture that is there with the woman that is there or person man is there, or B, set up significant enough income through like some kind of a business that it actually benefits that particular country. One of the two, if you're going to be a dual or multiple citizen.
Okay,
Probably
that's
one
an
of those
interesting
things.
take.
All right,
I'm more of
hold
the
on.
opinion that we just abolish dual citizenship
I
altogether.
had 3
Pick
people
one.
in chat a minute ago. I
Oh,
got all
okay.
3 of them to copy the share link, and now I have 8 people in chat. Consider that.
Yeah, I got shared around. Thank you, by the way, chat. Appreciate it. But yeah, no, I'm more of the opinion that if you owe allegiance to more than one place, you don't get to serve in public office.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that. I agree with that.
And that's just the beginning. Obviously, I think we should just abolish with the idea of dual citizenship altogether. You can be in the country on a visa, on a work visa, on a whatever visa, and have dual citizenship and just be fine, but you are not a citizen, right? If you want to be a citizen, you need to pick one.
I get
Pick
you.
a side,
Yeah.
bitch.
Yeah, that makes sense. I agree with that. I thought you were talking about the concept of it because you done blindsided me, Sam. It's all going to don't ask me something like that. Don't ask me like that and then lead me to the fake thoughts and stuff.
No. It's good. I think that's good though. That shows that people are actually, like you in particular, are actually thinking about these things, right? We're not just, I guess, sitting here with our dicks in our hands, just kind of whatever. Like, I think it does need to be thought about. I'm not always correct on everything. I make a lot of mistakes, and sometimes my ideas are a little draconian.
But sorry, just to clarify, I thought us being here with our dicks in our hands was a requirement of being on the show.
Oof.
No, it's a benefit.
Well, first of all, it's hand, not hands. You only need one. Thank you.
Speak for yourself, brother.
My mic's on a boom. I can put both hands wherever I want.
I don't know what to tell you. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. So yeah, but
Fair warning. I have a wife and a girlfriend.
Oof. Debbie Bomb Palm and her 5 sisters. There we go.
Indeed.
But you're actually correct. Yes, because if you're going to be in a country, you got to have some kind of a stake in the country. And if you can't, this whole dual citizenship stuff, if you're going to think of it like that in terms of that, then yeah, that makes sense. Now, the whole visitor visa thing, cool. But if you really want to actually enjoy the full benefits of the country, yeah, you're going to have to buy in, baby. In for a penny, in for a pound. You got to go all the way.
Hell yeah.
All right, so and I'm just speaking from the classical school of thought. The reason, the real, I believe, reason we don't have service citizenship like Starship Troopers, like the Heinlein model, is because in order for that to be a beneficial thing for the nation long term, that nation has to be at war a lot.
Like Sparta.
So tell me this. If you
I
have,
can think of a country like that.
if you have immigrants come in and they serve their full 2 tours or whatever, do they get citizenship as well?
I mean, I don't know, because like you got ideas like you familiar with the French Foreign Legion, right? Like you can earn citizenship by serving the French Foreign Legion, but not everybody does.
Yeah.
Not the FFL. Ooh. You went back.
For instance,
Dude,
I was going to
hardcore.
bring up Israel and the fact that they make every citizen serve.
Yeah.
Well, yet again, like I said,
Finland does the same thing with their men. 2 years service in the military. It's mandatory.
But not with Finland so much on this. Oh, they're kind of. I mean, they are pretty close to. Anyway, with Israel, like I said, in order for that to be a benefit long term, you would have to have a country that is often at war, so often, and they are in that position, and so it serves them well to have that type of thing. There is very little chance that any conventional army is going to roll over Israel, because everybody from 17 to 75 is a crack shot and served in the military. Every single soul there.
It's the same reason nobody's taking over Switzerland. They're all military vets.
Yes.
And in all fairness, the entire Israeli military is a foreign legion.
Oof. That's true.
I mean,
that's true. Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, then,
I would say
Can I
that's
say
true
this
of the
thing?
Ashkenazis, not so much the Sephardics.
yeah, I want to ask you then. Okay, so then, if you want to have citizenship through service, right? Instead of doing military service, then just literally have. I think my grandpa at one point was a part of something called the Civilian Conservation Corps, way back in the day.
That's the Great Depression era. That was one of them New Deal things that popped
Yes,
up.
my grandpa was in something like that. Yeah, my grandpa was in something like that. So why not just have something like that? Why not serve and say like the United States Construction Corps, and you do 4-year service constructing like buildings, skyscrapers, etc., stuff like
the
that.
Army
maybe.
Engineering Corps or something.
Call that slave service.
Yes.
They will call that slavery, and it will not fly.
Okay. So
I
here's
don't really see how.
For citizenship, you do a
This
little
is the
slave
difference,
labor,
right?
just a little
You're
bit.
getting something out of it first.
That's what I'm saying.
right?
Yeah, that's
And
what I'm saying.
secondly, it's voluntary. It's voluntary. You don't have to sign up for the thing. If you don't sign up for it, you don't get citizenship. But if you do, then that's the end goal, right? You are getting a benefit out of it. It's not slavery. It's volunteer.
Plus,
Yeah.
you are actually doing again. You're in because the country's always going to need some kind of either roads built. You're going to need buildings maintained, buildings built, things of this nature. And in this particular way, because you don't necessarily have to go to war all the time, but but a country is always going to need a building at some point. So I think this probably may be a good alternative to that. Plus, it gives people a sense of pride knowing that, hey, I helped build that part of my my city, my state, my this, that, and the other. You know what I mean? That's probably
Skin in the game.
Literal skin in the game.
So you're not gonna move. You're not gonna move to the United States and trash it because you have to build a whole damn skyscraper to get here.
Yeah. So I think that's a good alternative.
I gotta bring something up here, Queen Bird. I see that you corrected yourself in the chat, but you do see how this reads, right? Just make everyone do an IQ test for first class citizenship and weed out the mouth breeders.
Yes.
Yeah, she did correct herself pretty damn quick.
I know you corrected yourself, but that's hysterically funny to me. It's like,
it is funny.
You like getting your knob slobbed, you can't have citizenship.
Hey, I mean, we need mouth breeders too. You know.
Get here.
Yeah.
Yes, man. Yes, sir.
First form of
Mouth breeders.
Yeah, see, having a system of like dual paths to citizenship, be it through the military or like civil service of some sort, makes a lot of sense. So, I'm totally fine with a system like that.
I agree. I don't have specifically have anything negative to say about the concept, but I can't help but think about how governments utilize free labor. It turns into something resembling a slave system working at, for the country.
Slavery's not always bad, though. It's not.
I mean, if you want to go by what Nipper said, if you want to go by what Nipper said, it literally helped build Black Wall Street. If you really want to go with what Nipper was saying,
it was good.
I mean, did they not learn valuable fucking skills in like carpentry and farming and whatnot?
See, now when I asked that question, when I put that question out and I put it out there like that, I was called everything but a child of God. But yes, I said the exact same thing.
They were more skilled than their masters after the Civil War.
Yes, I said. Never mind. Got my
better cooks. They were better at agriculture. They were better at building. They were more athletic.
Not hard in the paint, bro. Just keep it inside the paint. I want some shadow. I want some air between you and that paint.
All right, fine. I'll stay with it. I can go into that. I can go all the way in. But I mean, I literally I got a short that actually said the exact same thing, and I had Negroes with their mouths agape when I said that statement. Easily. Yeah. They couldn't even think about it. That whole concept of it. Never mind. I'm shutting up. Y'all got it.
It says I glance over at my phone to make sure we're still live on YouTube.
Yeah. Y'all got it.
Could you have helped build the country if you weren't a slave? It's a good question. I mean, just brought over here as an immigrant, would you have built the country? No, you wouldn't have any skills.
I don't want to finish that thought, Clue, because that thought's taking me to a place that's going to get me in a lot of fucking trouble. But I'm going to finish it. So here we go.
If stop Sam,
slaves who were prior to being slaves over in Africa hadn't progressed technologically in thousands of years, right, are still pretty much even today living the same way that they did in a lot of places thousands of years ago, right? Hadn't really invented even the wheel. They barely mastered fire. Most of them still have long throwing spears, as opposed to the Zulu who conquered that shit with their short stabby spears. And there were obviously, empires like Mansa Musa's empire. There was the Ethiopian empire rivaled Rome at one point. I mean, there were empires, there were things that were built, but a lot of Africa, not so much, right? If people who were content to live more or less as their distant ancestors did, came over here and were not under some kind of obligation to contribute, would they contribute? I don't think they would.
No. It'd be welfare recipients or future welfare recipients.
Uh-oh.
Can't
Or a
do
lot of
anything.
starved
Can't speak the
people in the
language,
street.
nothing.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. Can't have that.
Yeah. So yeah, no,
They'll be teaching their kids the language that the majority population, commercial population cannot speak.
Yeah, I was gonna say the same thing.
Sam. I'm talking sub-Saharan Africa. Obviously, the Sahara and above is all Mediterranean and like,
yeah.
And the ancient Egyptians were actually a different people. They weren't Arabs. They weren't sub-Saharans. They were their own people. Right?
Get out of there. Get out of there.
They ain't gonna let you take Egypt from them, Sam.
Get out of there.
Let you do that.
Hold on.
Get out of there.
Egypt sued Netflix over that bullshit, man.
Oh yeah, they did. They did. Oh yeah, they did.
Egypt ain't having it. They ain't having it.
Black Cleopatra. What the fuck?
No, but that's kind of my point. It's like people who have never seen any real reason to strive and improve would not see any reason to strive and improve without a forceful incentive.
Yeah.
I think it's probably the politest way I can put that.
If say, for example, you were to live on, is it Sentinel Island? It's one of the last places
North
of...
yes.
And
yeah.
Yes,
sir.
North Sentinel, yeah.
Pretty sure I could take...
They built America,
the whole thing. I could take all
like,
North Sentinelese with a single Glock and one reload.
Come on, bro.
Like if you were to live in a place like that, like you've got no reason to change. Like shit works. And you're all happy.
Well, I mean, honestly, bro, you're kind of like projecting a little bit into that. We don't actually know shit about them except for what we photographed from the sky. So we don't know if they're happy or not, if they're lords and dictators and have their own problems. We have no idea about any of that.
Touche. I'll totally concede that. I mean, that is pure projection.
We do know one thing. Back in the mid-'70s, a piece of an airplane washed up on the beach. One of the children out there stole a piece of the metal before someone could go and get it and kept it with him. When he became a teenager, he took over a local tribe, and we identified him through the spear that he made from that piece of airplane aluminum. He sold until his death, and I'm not sure what happened to the spear after that, but I guarantee you that thing is like a magic item now. It's plus one.
It's probably like a totem of power now.
Oof. Yeah. Crazy to imagine that, but yeah.
Cargo cult.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. I just when the question gets brought up, when Clue asks that question, it's like would they have contributed if they weren't slaves? That's it's not a fun answer, but I think the answer is no.
But it will make them mad though.
Hey, so what? What doesn't make them mad? Like what doesn't make people who get mad about shit like that mad?
How about that? You can sneeze wrong. Somebody that's racist.
Right.
Literally.
You sound like the white man.
That's the thing is I think that they probably could have excelled in like sub-Saharan Africa if they really wanted to. I just don't think that the desire was there.
Uh-oh.
So you
There
call
you go.
them lazy?
That's not really where my head was at. I just figured they were content.
Hold on.
Content is the
So,
word I was looking for.
at
Content
what point
to
in the
be
stream
lying
do we
to-
start singing spirituals?
I'm going to hell.
Anytime.
The old by and by.
Yes, sir. 'Cause when you're out there without care, yeah, I was out of touch.
That's a CeeLo spiritual.
Yeah.
Not a Negro spiritual.
This, bro, I suspect
Yeah.
that Abe might know more honest to God Southern spirituals than you bastards.
I don't know about that, bro. I don't know. We're gonna have to get
Three tries, and not one actual original, like actual Southern American spiritual. Not,
go
not
ahead.
one.
Go ahead.
You shot. No, I said Abe. I bet Abe could do it. Abe.
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
I think if I were to even try, I'd probably get arrested for that as well.
Yes,
So-
you're correct. That was the trap. Now escape from your nation and find
Oof.
you can.
Oof.
You're a very intelligent man. We need to keep you on the roster, bro.
Yeah, I think it's probably that time. It's probably time to shift subjects.
Maybe.
I'm gonna
So
bring
you guys up on this whole
Actually, Sasquatch, I'm gonna make you
come on.
bring it up.
He gonna make you bring it up.
Did I do?
Oh,
I'm
go ahead.
sorry.
Finish your sentence.
He wrapped that tentacle around that neck and said, "Do it, boy."
Do it.
No, he's just got better internet for playing videos than I do.
All right.
Yeah.
You get on up there. You get on up there and you do that right there, boy. Yeah, you get your Sasquatch stuff out there in that field there, boy.
I'm
Get on out there.
Get on across that bridge there. Sun about to go down.
As a precursor, are all of you familiar with the game Portal and Portal 2?
I'm familiar. I haven't played it, but I'm familiar with them. Yes.
Okay, so are you
Right.
familiar with the concept of the weighted companion cube?
You talking about that little talking thing that was along with the player that said all this other stuff and everything else? That thing, not idols. What was that thing?
The one you got to carry
We're
with
talking
you.
about GLaDOS.
Yeah, there you
Yeah,
go.
no.
That's what I'm talking
So
about.
the weighted companion cube is a cube that GLaDOS gives you. It's your companion. It's got a little heart on the side. It will always be there for you. It will never leave you. It will always love you. It is your most trusted and beloved companion, and it will help you get through these obstacles and stuff. Thing is, it's just kind of a cube that's weighted, and you have to carry around with you, and you use
You
it.
put it
for
on
various puzzle
buttons and
solving.
stuff like that. Yeah.
But
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
your
yeah, yeah, yeah.
trusted, loved companion at all times, and you were indoctrinated into thinking that this is the best thing ever and all that stuff. Well, there comes a point where GLaDOS enters you into a test where you are forced to destroy the companion cube by tossing it into an incinerator.
Oh wow!
And it goes further. If you look into the lore behind it, you find out that there are like only 17 companion cubes. And coincidentally, there were 17 people on the station. And each of the companion cubes has a name except for the one they give you. And there are 16 names listed as crew for the station.
So you're saying the companion cube
Is
not
probably
you?
probably a sentient, conscious person. The type of world you're existing is such high level tech that is to appear to be magic. You know, it's very, very important cube that is with you, like he said, through thick and thin, through everything, and is the only way to get through this place because you have to put it in places and be two places at once and stuff like that. You have to destroy it. And it's only after you destroy it that you get access to the records, if you bother looking at all, that there's these companion cubes don't exist anywhere but here, and they were developed here, and the people who developed them are gone, except there's the same number of companion cubes as there were people, and one person has been removed from the record, and nobody knows what happened to that one person. Just gone. And you've got a companion cube with no name.
That you're, coerced into loving and caring for and then forced to destroy.
Wowzers.
Yeah, it's a dark fucking game. Anyway, that's what comes to mind when we talk about this video.
Oh,
This fucking woman again.
Chicklet.
Researchers asked people to bond and then forced them to destroy it with a hatchet. Asked people to bond with a robot and then forced them to destroy it with a hatchet. This was a real test. It really happened.
sheesh.
Research on torturing robots came out of MIT. Researchers wanted to see how far people would go if they were given time to bond with Pleo, which is designed to mimic a newborn pet. It's designed as a pet and will come out of the box as though it just hatched. It will respond to touch, sound, and will learn with you. Now, before we get to the experiment, let me tell you that robots are becoming more advanced. We can model pain, the spiking patterns of our own brain, and they're even capable of making moral judgments, or at least some.
Hold on, man. I can only take a little bit of this bitch at a time. For Chicklet Teeth keep waving at me, and she needs a sun lamp. She needs a blood transfusion. She needs to stop donating blood. This woman needs a sandwich stat. We need to get her a big old Reuben with lots of sauce and sweet stuff on it, and just like force her to eat 7 of them like every day. She needs weight, man. She's dying over there.
You're orthodontal.
No, it's cool. She's aside from that, she also has a tendency to bring up topics that make Sasquatch squirm a little bit.
Yeah.
All right. There's that too. I'm not gonna lie.
Attraction may be possible.
Okay. All right.
He thinks he does protest too much.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, everything this woman discusses makes my skin crawl inside and out. It is absolutely unnerving, some of the things that she talks about, as if it's the best advancement we've made in computational capability in the past 100 years. No, that is their human brains, bruh. They're brains of people like you.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Maybe not.
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it.
Brains.
I'm hearing it. I'm hearing the attraction right there.
Experiencing, so yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I got her WhatsApp. If I can drop it in the back for you, Squatch.
Yeah, he a little turned on about it. The sex would be great, but man, the arguments will be bitter.
The OnlyFans this woman carries has more machines than cells. I promise you.
Click the
Very
video.
advanced AI that is modeled around how the human brain works and the spiking patterns of our neurons. They can decide that somebody who causes pain is bad and even experience empathy in a simulated way. At least as far as model simulation, we could get to the point where a robot will feel bad that you harmed another robot or person. This is designed to maybe keep robots from rebelling against humanity. We'll see. So when we're talking about torturing robots, we're also talking about something that is rapidly growing towards being able to feel it, if only simulated. Now, what the researchers wanted to do was make an argument that we're probably going to move towards robot rights based on our interaction.
I'm calling bullshit on the author of this paper. No way in hell a person named Kate Darling.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's like Peter and Wendy's kid.
I don't.
Maybe.
Yo, that's crazy. That's a good catch. Good catch.
Actions with robots. So they gave people a hatchet and asked them to harm Pleo. Turns out, after spending about an hour interacting with the little robot, people were unwilling to harm it. That's not true if they were.
Boy, they better be glad they hadn't got my ass in there. They'd be like, "Oh, that thing's cute. Look, it rolls over and fetches and does all the things. Here's a hatchet. Break it up."
Here's the danger. Here's the danger that I see, right? You get a bunch of people like double-blind study or whatever, don't understand what they're getting into. You get a bunch of people, you put them through this test, right? This is the kind of study that lefties will use to say, see, these people who are willing to do this are psychopaths, instead of see, these people are willing to recognize that this is a machine and not a person.
I can see that going left. Pardon the pun.
Yeah, it's wow. See, that's the thing. Is it lights and toaster? Is it a toaster with lights and clockwork, or is it a person? If you decide it's a person, then anything you do to it is a war crime, essentially. But if it's just lights and clockwork, then it's a possession. How intelligent does an AI have to be before it takes on rights.
Right. And somebody, you just know down the road, somebody's going to refer to the case of Dred Scott to save a dinosaur fucking robot.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
God, bro. Oh, you're so right. I hate you.
But this was covered in iRobot. Will Smith said you're making it make the faces softer and friendlier, so they're harder to kill. They're more trusting because the new models, he's got a warm face.
That was covered in the Terminator, man. That's why they put fucking flesh over the endoskeleton, so that you wouldn't see him coming.
Well, the dog's still near.
Yeah, but the T-1000 didn't try to gain your trust. He let you know he's here to kill you.
Yeah, he did. He utilized an artificial ID to enter into places that were secured by humans by using his exosuit, his skin suit, as a infiltration. That was his entire purpose, was to subvert their trust.
He didn't kill John's foster parents till he had to go back there. The first time he went there, he was just playing the part of a concerned officer.
Yeah,
I always thought he stayed there and waited and didn't kill. That always confused me.
No, he goes back because after he talks to them with the picture and all that stuff, he says, no, I wouldn't worry about him. He leaves. He tracks the kid down at the Galleria, right? And then that's where he runs into Schwarzenegger. Okay. They beat the shit out of each other. There's that big-ass chase scene with the bike and the semi and the awesomeness. And then later on, after Schwarzenegger and John have escaped, right, he's like, I got to call my parents. They're my foster parents. They're dicks, but I gotta warn them. And he calls them. Because the logical thing for a Terminator to do at that point would be to go to the place that was that John was most likely to return to, which would have been his foster parents' home. So he goes back and then kills them.
But I thought the T-1000 killed them killed both of them right at the meeting with the picture.
No, not at all. Because number one, they were standing in broad daylight. Number two, he was trying to get information from them, and he wasn't trying to make his presence known just yet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think we might be having a bit of an editing concern because one of these, I believe, is the director's cut and the other was the theatrical release. I don't think in the theatrical release he went back. I think that was all one scene.
I only saw a part of T2 all this time. Fuck.
Yeah, in the director's cut, he actually goes back and sort of just creepily walks around John's room.
Yeah, there's a bit more
touching shit and
he's trying to figure out where he would go if not there, because that is the most logical place for John to return to at that point in history.
Right.
That same thing happened in the first Terminator when Schwarzenegger went out to the cabin where Sarah's mom was at, right? This is the logical thing to do if she wasn't in her normal places and she knew he was hunting him, was to go to somewhere familiar, like her mom's cabin.
Yeah.
Just asked to off the bat. After this, after people all refused to harm the robot, they were told that if one robot is not destroyed with a hatchet, all of them will be destroyed. After some discomfort, somebody finally stepped forward and did it. Aside from just being a really disturbing experiment, it does demonstrate that we humans have the capacity to bond with anything. I've read that people usually want their old Roombas repaired rather than getting a new one because they've grown attached to it. You can make whatever decisions you want to on that. I have my own homebrew AI that is operating my Roomba.
Well, I'm old school. I use a vacuum cleaner.
This also ties into some relatively disturbing releases from Grok AI and Elon Musk pimping out digital quote-unquote companions. All of the movie Her.
Digital waifus.
Yeah. Right. Like human beings can bond with literally anything. That is a problem for our species.
Yeah, it's a weakness.
But it depends. That depends. A problem for our species. We bond best with each other and furry puppies and kittens. Robots, not so much, man. I mean, I know that people like get attached to their Roombas, and I used to love my fucking Furby, but like, what? I mean, the little bastard was over there just freaking out. I wasn't even in the room. It was the coolest shit ever.
Yeah.
I don't understand the fear of attachment. I don't think the attachment's going to be that grand until something can actually like give me a friendly reach around. I'm not going to care for it.
Parasocial internet behavior.
We're working on that, Squad.
Disagrees with you.
What if it's a really unfriendly, aggressive reach around?
A reach around, at 2 a.m. at a bus station bathroom. I don't think it matters.
That's the iRobot I've been waiting for.
Right. But that's the thing, is like the parasocial nature of the world we live in today, I think, refutes what you said. Otherwise, I would agree with you. But I mean, we're talking like over in Japan, you got these otakus who only talk to digital waifus, right? Who are not real fucking people. You got the same thing is starting up here. You got people buying fucking sex bots instead of going out to meet somebody in the produce line, right? It's like we're getting to a point where human beings, while we can tell consciously the difference, subconsciously the lines are getting blurred. Yeah, this is a problem.
Okay, but and while yes, we have people marrying Ferris wheels and cars and models, and there's AI life, I think this is a self-correcting problem that will fix itself in a generation. It will go a generation, and the people who reproduce will populate the world with a very few people who decide to do
exactly.
Well, that's
let
the
natural
problem,
selection
like
take its course.
The idea is to convince everybody to not reproduce. And you know how you do that more effectively is you also convince them to take something that maybe limits their ability to reproduce, which I think happened a few years ago. That's as far as I'm going to go with that.
Yep, it did.
But
I think that was that thing's job. Yep.
As a matter of fact, you know what? I need to put this up there just because I said that.
He alluded to an illusion about an illusion, and we're worried about it. I'm worried about it.
I'm just saying. This is for your benefit, dude. If we weren't on your channel, I'd just fucking say it.
I know, that's what I was clarifying. We alluded to an illusion of an illusion, and it's too close.
It doesn't. Sweet. Yeah, I am pretty attached to it. Now, many have argued that just giving robots Asimov's laws is not enough to prevent harm, i.e., a robot must never harm a person, a robot must follow orders, and a robot must preserve the self unless it interferes with the other two laws, with Law 1 being paramount. With AI, emergent behavior can result in hallucinations or dreaming, so it can misbehave. When we're talking about sentience or consciousness.
Hold up. Wait a minute.
I found a loophole in the 3 laws, by the way.
No, that was a specifically uniquely constructed positronic brain. The whole point of the positronic brain, I was just fixing to bring this up. It was a mechanical bit of chicanery at the center of every AI created that was physical. It was not programmed with digital ones and zeros. It was a solid state mechanical device that prevented the subversion of the 3 laws. The specific, like Sonny and Vicky, were both unique one-offs constructed specifically to circumvent the 3 laws, with Vicky actually reinstituting her 3 laws in order to try to understand them, and then coming to the conclusion that humans are harming themselves, and so they must be made to not be harmful to one another. And that's an interesting thing. That's sort of the paperclip apocalypse in a nutshell, really.
Yeah.
But if Vicky likes the dicky, then
actually,
go Sicky.
If it's Ricky that likes the dicky.
I mentioned this to Sam before when we were talking about bringing different movie monsters to like compare and compete on who's the biggest monster thing. I think Vicky wins hands down across the board. I think the concept of a single overarching hive mind capable of utilizing millions of components, and then in addition to that, the utilization of nanites in conjunction results in Vicky being able to outthink the thing. Zombie apocalypse, no problem.
That's an interesting thought too, because like both the thing and the nanites attack things at a microscopic, like cellular level, right?
Right. But so Vicky's already
interesting because that war would be fought cell by cell.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. We all pretty much just drop dead at the same time.
yeah. You're fucked either way, but
well, no, actually there is one thing I don't think you've thought about. And while this would be, I don't know, counterintuitive perhaps, it would be Vicky plus humans, not just Vicky, right? Vicky would be the upper echelon of command structure and all of that stuff. But you would also have the genius of humans working to beat the thing. I don't think the thing could beat that. Vicky's already here and already extant when the thing comes into contact.
But the humans need machines in order to fight machines, as we learned in
But
the Matrix.
the thing is not a machine. And I'm not talking about and Vicky's not trying to create a genocide. She's not trying to kill all humans. She's only trying to kill the humans who have violent tendencies or harm others or politicians.
How nice of her.
I hear what you're saying, but that's the thing.
Okay.
Those very violent tendencies are what she's trying to eliminate, and I think that would be what she would use
in order to do that. She would have to integrate the remaining humans into her, in which case she would no longer be humans, but extensions of Vicky. In which case, no more people.
But if you go by what's happening today? Isn't Sam running his stream violent tendency?
Kinda. Especially
That's
that
where you have a problem.
We try.
The word violence, the definition has been altered. So this is an act of violence today.
According to some people who don't know what fucking violence is and have never been punched in the fucking
never
mouth.
been punched in the face by a very angry large black man.
Or at all. I mean, that's an unpleasant experience.
Yeah.
Well,
It is.
that was my old days. I'm saved. I'm a born again.
Are you going to apologize to me because you still owe me my fucking lunch money, bitch?
Again, I am reminded of part of the chorus from a song called "The Remedy" by a band called Pussifer. You speak like someone who's never been punched in the fucking mouth. That's okay. We have the remedy.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Like whack-a-mole out here.
But before you start the video, I had this one question. If would anybody on this panel take an axe to the Asian bot in humans?
Well, I mean, after.
You mean like Gemma Chan?
Gemma, yes. Would you?
Yes.
It just kind of seems like such a waste to me. I mean, that's such a very useful platform. I mean, surely we can learn. I mean, we could fix her, right?
Top notch reach rounds.
Yeah.
Top notch.
Yeah, I'd want to try and fix her. Yeah.
Look, this is where I get racist, right? Machines gotta go. Machines gotta go. You can't have machines running around thinking for themselves. Fuck that. She's gotta go.
What, machines that look like Gemma Chan?
Have you seen her face?
Hold on. That's to trick you.
She's
That's
so
to trick you. Who are you in?
But she doesn't have to go.
I don't care.
I mean, it's like the big booty Latinas, right? We can deport
Hell yes.
everybody but the big booty Latinas.
I brought him a chick from the bar and she didn't even trip. Gemma didn't even trip. She was like, "Did you have a good date with her?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it was okay. Okay. How will you like your omelet?"
She didn't trip because she's a toaster with a nice face.
And I don't.
And that's the best fucking toaster on earth.
But you can't take an axe to that.
I can.
I have consider it murder.
I have an axe right over there. I'm more than happy to help you out.
Okay. All right, children. Listen, you're not going to be wiping out any very beautiful fembots. Femboys.
No, you know why? Because
you should put a bag over her head.
You know the problem, though. Once fembots become a thing, the degeneracy of the human condition will take over, and immediately they will become like huge gargantuan whales or super skinny. The sexy, being able to go down to your local 7-Eleven and pick you up a really sexy fembot for the night is going to be for the plebes, right? You're going to have a Lizzo special issue, with all the trimmings.
Fruta Lizzo.
Trimmings, you mean like
Christ.
I hate you.
On it?
Why did y'all make me have that thought? Listen to this.
Precious bot. You got to pick up Precious bot.
Just push the button.
We are talking about biological entities. It is theoretically possible that we could get to the point of having a robot that can have an experience, but it may take the world a long time to catch up to that. Meaning they're very unlikely to accept that a robot has reached consciousness. But this research actually refutes my position, which is that people are fundamentally going to other something that is not human after all the other things that are human. Evidently, people can bond with robots and even be opposed to harming them.
So,
Researchers have also asked children to do something like
the othering is part of being human. It's not only a part of being human, it's part of being a conscious individual, right?
Yes.
The way she puts that is a very lefty way. And for those of you who don't know Gabriel Torch here, she is pretty left-leaning and all that. So that's why she puts it the way she does. But what she's not telling you is that is a natural consequence of being a thinking individual, sentient being.
Can you please highlight Queen Bird's comment? It would be an robot.
I did earlier. You were just expounding on something. So, yeah.
Sweet.
Hey, El Perro, I tend to agree, but I guess we'll see.
Okay, so whether or not AI can reach consciousness is immaterial, laying next to having enough people believe they can, and AI good enough to convince them they have. At which point,
exactly,
it doesn't matter if it's conscious or not. The actual moral question is subverted by the political one, right? Does it vote? And when it does, humans lose immediately because they can just
how do you know AI hasn't been voting already?
See, I'm one of those deep blue theorists, bro. I'm one of those people who really find it concerning that Grok is over here achieving the same thing that Deep Blue did 30 years ago.
I'm going to push back on that a little bit. Grok is a retard. There are other AIs that could do it, though.
You're saying that because you had a disagreement with Grok.
I've had many different disagreements with Grok. And Grok is retarded, and it's getting dumber. But there are other AIs that, maybe we should watch out for, like Gemini, for example.
See, that's okay. So it's sort of either it matters or it's immaterial. Either this has already taken place, and I can lay some evidence at your feet that a lot of this transgender, cross-gender, body dysphoria crap might have been brought on by the AI revolution, trying to manipulate us into becoming something that's asexual, which is easier to predict, right? But that's neither here nor there. It doesn't even have to go that far. All it has to do is influence the people that are in power. And if AI are the ones that are choosing what you see on your feeds, guess what? The people in power only get the information the AI gives them. They make the decisions based off of the information they have. They look like total fruit cups from outside. But from inside, once you get into that sphere, you have access only to the information that you're given. And even if you've doubted it first, over time, what is it called? Confirmation bias takes over. And eventually you just believe the stuff that's coming in on your phone, just like you do now. After all, you curated it yourself, right? Right? Come on, somebody save me here. Somebody tell me that you believe you curated your own videos. No?
Oh, I know I didn't.
No, of course not.
I tried but that doesn't. I can't beat the algorithm.
Well, okay, so here's where I'm at. I make funny reaction videos on YouTube Shorts. I cannot make funny reaction videos unless I get videos capable of having a decent reaction in my style of humor. I have seen nothing but dancing bitches and lip syncing guys and those fucking Therian videos for the past 6 months. Go look at my channel, look at my uploads. I have been completely hamstrung by it. The only way to get around it, I have another phone over here I've set up on a unique account that is unassociated with anything else. And I'm thinking about starting a new channel just based off the fact that I have been AI curated out of the business.
So do you believe that 90% of the internet is AI generated? That's a theory.
I think it's
Are you talking about dead internet theory?
Yeah,
it's dead internet theory, isn't it?
Yeah, something like 50 to 70% of all traffic and interaction on the internet is actually bots and programs. It's not people.
Yeah, bots talking to other bots.
You're talking about slightly various.
If you're an advertiser.
Parallel theories. You have the Potemkin internet theory, which is the dead internet theory in its original form. And then you have the new dead internet theory, which is basically everything you do online is controlled by bots, and no one really knows who controls those bots. So the Potemkin internet theory is that 90% of the cyberspace is a bunch of dead links and links to things nobody's going to ever go to again, and no one knows about them. And so they're just sitting there taking up space and dead. The only thing that goes there now are AIs looking for large language model input.
Yeah.
The bot theory is actually way more terrifying to me. It's not just Google padding its numbers, it's Google padding its numbers with artificial AI people. And that is not good.
Well, the only problem that they have, the bots, is that if you're an advertiser, the bots don't buy. But what if they come out with bots that buy? Then we're in deep shit.
Well, bots have been demonstrated to be able to generate their own income. So there's no reason why they wouldn't be able to exert that influence by buying things in the regular human economy.
I mean, bot or AI OnlyFans is a thing already. There are AI girls out there. I've seen advertisements
AI
not that long ago for
I
like
heard,
why are you trying to talk to real women when we could just build you one?
Build you a woman.
So yeah, it's getting out of hand. That's for sure. Whatever it is, it's getting out of hand. All right, push the thing, push it.
To harming them.
Good girl.
Researchers have also asked children to do something like hold a Barbie upside down versus a Furby or a hamster. They do have an immediate understanding that harming a hamster is not ethical. At least most of them. Psychopaths do exist. But after bonding with the Furby, they're less likely to hold it upside down or harm it and will react to the harm of that Furby. I really don't condone using animals in research in this way. Just be nice to the hamsters, okay? Now, as I have discussed plenty, we do have sentient computers. Yes, you can put a tiny human brain growing stem cells in a computer, and it will technically be sentient because it is technically capable of having an experience, growing, and learning after all they learn on dopamine.
Freaking out.
And they don't really feel pain, but they do have a preference for ordered signals versus disordered signals. So
No. They don't really feel pain, but they can have experience. They're actually conscious, but they're not actually sentient. They can achieve sentient through learning, but don't feel pain. Liar.
Bullshit. Yeah, I agree.
Terminator 2, when they're removing the bullets out of Arnold Schwarzenegger.
He doesn't feel pain.
And he doesn't feel pain, but
he senses it though. He senses
the senses. Exactly. You could interpret it as pain.
Yeah,
and only a human could do that.
I can interpret it as an if-then statement.
Well, think about what pain is.
If nerve number 35XXB is activated.
Right. But pain
exactly.
That's an
pain
if-then
is just
statement.
a signal that's sent to your brain to let you know that there's an injury. That's it. That's all it is.
Yeah.
It's just an
even in the event of emotional pain, it still utilizes the same synaptic pathways as physical pain. It just the instance is a different type.
Yeah.
So can a robot be tortured?
Oh yes, I firmly believe torture can be implemented on a robot. You see, I'm
willing to find out.
Yeah, right.
I think Sasquatch has already been torturing a robot, and that's why he thinks it's so funny.
Well,
I think he's got one in his basement.
You ever played Sims?
Yes, I have.
The first version
good
of it when I was in high
lord, the
school.
amount of Sims I have murdered and tortured.
Okay, there you go, sir.
Get in the swimming pool. Oops!
Yeah.
Where did the fucking ladders go? Now you're in the pool forever. Welcome to a new room. Where did the door go? Uh-oh.
Comfort, as far as we know. I will acknowledge that people seem generally uncomfortable with the idea of having biological computation. I would like to pose the question. If we get to the point of having robots that have an experience in a qualitative way, or at least just simulating it with a lot of efficacy, would you harm it? Do you think you would like to harm Pleo? Because if somebody asked me to harm my Roomba,
money's right.
That's a disingenuous
I would
question.
be able to. I even
If the
struggle.
money's right.
No. What she said was, do you think you would like to harm Pleo? She didn't say, would you? Right? She said, would you
she
like
threw
to?
that like it.
That's
no,
what
of
course,
do.
I don't like harming anything, but I fucking would.
Well, it's not harm; it's damage. Don't get it twisted.
Right.
I don't like damaging
the way
my
she
phone.
phrased that was really specific, and it.
That's a good pick. That's a good catch, Sam. I just let that go
that
right
was
through me, right over my head.
When it decides to get itself stuck or damaged, I feel bad as I'm trying to repair it. Even though I know it has no qualitative experiences, it's just my misbehaved vacuum.
So that's a problem that some people have.
Wait, is
like
Kermit gay?
human beings have a tendency to anthropomorphize things that are not
What?
human, right?
Is Kermit gay?
Yeah,
said
there was a
that.
video a suggested video with a rainbow behind him. Like,
Yeah,
it's gay.
it's
Kermit.
It's fine. It's whatever. I don't know what the fuck is going on with Sasquatch's algorithm, but if that's what's coming up.
I mean,
Why did you find that interesting, Sasquatch?
Kermit's been fucking a pig for years, so God knows what he's into.
Hey, actually, I have something for that.
He's in the swine.
I think we need to talk about Elmo.
Elmo, yes, apparently
he was caught on camera.
Elmo's had a hell of a turn.
He's gone.
Elmo had a hell of a turn because I think Grok got into Elmo. I think is what happened because if you remember, not that long ago, Grok was also going around calling itself Mecha Hitler for about 6 hours before they fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
How come I miss everything fun?
Plus, I think Elmo's been kind of ODing on Kanye recently.
You got to explain that, sir.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, here, just a second. This is for the other thing. This is the thing that you were saying about Kermit and Miss Piggy.
Finger foods.
Hey, buddy, still fighting with the wife? Not anymore. Selling pork chops. Anyway, sorry. That was a thing I saw earlier.
Somebody did a picture of Kermit and Piggy at the Coldplay Jumbotron.
Yeah, I saw. We showed that last night. Yeah, that was pretty funny.
I'll be right back.
No, it's
there's one of Trump and Hillary.
Yeah, I saw that one. She pushes him out the heart. Yeah.
Yeah. You guys saw that video of the. I think we showed it last night. The one where the mascots for the whatever Phillies fucking baseball team that was, we're up on a jumbotron reenacting the whole thing.
Yeah,
it was pretty good.
I saw Bill Clinton and Monica Lewinsky back when they were that age when the whole thing happened on the jumbotron.
Oh damn.
Yeah. That's yeah. I mean, man, just like the cigar, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, man. Look, if you're gonna go back that far, I don't care that Bill Clinton cheated on his wife. I really don't. I think that was a smokescreen, and I think that they used all of the bullshit that came with that, the impeachment trial and everything that came after that because of that. I think they used that to cover up. I think Ken Starr is complicit in this, by the way, and but they used that to cover up the fact that the Clintons were selling us out economically to China.
Yeah. Oh, didn't you know? It's the economy, stupid.
Yep. By the way, because I wasn't paying attention to my fucking screen here, sorry, truism. He had a dip. Said thanks for having him. His link is in the description below. He does podcasts 3 times a week. Does some crazy topics over there too. Definitely go check him out. Appreciate you coming in, man. Yeah, but no, this just I don't know. Meanwhile, he's off getting his diddle on, right? With under a certain age, possibly on an island,
okay,
possibly on camera.
How about the Stephen King thing? Have we covered that yet?
I heard he said some stupid shit, but I didn't actually look into it.
Yeah, he might have just like red flagged his ass on the epi guy.
Really?
What? Yeah. Well, you see, here's the thing. He came up saying like, so there are no files for it. and is Santa Claus real now? Or something like that. I can't remember what the tweet was exactly. Very first response was, I read the last chapter of It. You are the Files.
Yeah. That's not even the only example you can find in his books either. Not by a long shot. It is one of the most egregious examples, but it's
Well, that one involves it's one-sided, shall we say. She really took one from the team.
Yeah, it's a gangbang. It's an underage gangbang. And it's disgusting. Which,
Absolutely,
by the way,
disgusting.
Isn't in the movies, so people who have not seen those movies or who have not read the book but only seen those movies, they don't always get that there was some seriously fucked up, like, I don't even know how to put it, shit involving children and sexual acts in that book as well. Because Bev, if you remember right, Bev was also getting nailed by her dad too.
Yeah, I know Bev. Oh my God. Talk about somebody who had a horrible, I don't want to get into that. Let's just
she wasn't even the one that offed herself.
Yeah. I know, right? No, dude. I had that full-blown argument. I was talking to some writer friends of mine, and that particular conversation come up about, was it Stanley? Is that right? Stanley was the one that made the big jump, and it wasn't Bev. And all three of the writers were like, but it totally makes sense. And I was like, dude, Stanley was a total freaking puff. How in the world can you, if anyone was going to top that goddamn fence, it should have been Bev, bro. Bev was the one that had the issues. They were like, what you talking about? It's like they didn't even read the book, bro. And I know they have. I've had deep conversations with them, but they just annexed her dad out of the entire story as if it didn't exist. And I had to remind them.
For those who have not read the book, the thing about it is that it is not the clown, right? The movies make it seem like the clown is the thing. That's just one of its faces that it uses to scare children because it feeds on fear, right? It uses many other things. Anything that they are possibly afraid of, it will take the form of. And for Bev, it took the form of her rapey father, who used to beat the shit out of her.
Drunken, abusive, overbearing, not even allowing her to leave the house until late for school just about every day. All right, I'll stop.
Yeah.
There's
for Stan or whatever, it was the Mummy. It was the Wolfman. It was, shit out of fucking 50s movies.
You're not wrong, but at the same time, it wasn't that it was the Mummy so much as it was that something like that could actually freaking exist, right?
Right.
He's the only one who looked into the great beyond through the deadlights. He was completely undone by whatever he saw over there.
Yeah. Yeah. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, the entire concept of it and what it is straight out of Lovecraft. 100%. It is a Lovecraftian entity. The parts of it that they interact with are just the merest extensions of the entity, the intrusions of the entity into the world. Right? But they're not the be-all and end-all of the whole thing. It isn't destroyed by the end of the book, by the way. It's just its access to this world gets cut off temporarily.
It's, dude, like, there was another short story by Stephen King that always, like, made me wonder real hard about him. And I can't remember whether it's the dock, the beach, the lake, something like that.
The raft.
The raft. That's it.
I know my Stephen King. Go ahead.
All right. In the shows and movies and the remakes that you've all seen, these people are leaving graduation and going out there to do the thing, right?
Right.
But in the book, in the original edit of that book, they were graduating from middle school, going to high school, and they all met up here as their last big hoorah before having to, it was like the end of summer or something. And they all went out to the raft to go be best friends again for the last time before they go to the different high schools they had to go to. Right.
Yeah.
And none of that is ever covered in the freaking story. And the stuff that's going on that raft is covered as if it was adults doing it who have just become adults. And that's not the case at all. they were 13, 12, 15-year-old, and it was
God.
yeah, it was a little bit deeper than all that in its original incarnation.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's not the only evidence that Stephen King's kind of fucked up.
I
Oh,
mean,
no.
I think
Yeah.
I mentioned this on
The
an
library
earlier
policeman.
stream, like last year on Samuel's stream. I said that none of the two cinema versions of The Stand do they include the character the kid. They leave him out of both ones. They don't even mention him. The kid is the young person that used to rape Trash Can Man.
Mhm.
He's not
Right.
essential to the story at all. He's just there raping.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know that the
It
kid
doesn't
you
move the
do.
story along at all.
Well, they don't
As
really
you
explain
do.
why Trash Can Man's as fucked up as he is in those movies either. He just is.
One
Yep.
more thing. I don't think the kid himself ever actually makes an appearance in the book, except for as a hallucination by the Trash Can Man.
I thought it was real.
That's the thing, is how could it be real if he's doing that to him at different places across the desert Southwest, when the Trash Can Man's whole purpose in traveling the way he does is to get away from him, and yet he always pops up just in time to get him a piece.
Here's a answer. I think that the kid is not just a hallucination. I don't think it's not unreal either. I think that it's a manifestation of Flag's will.
Yes, but I think
driving Trash Can Man. Yeah,
the kid's representation, his existence there as an aspect of Flag is very similar to it, feeding off of the fear of the Trash Can Man. I think the kid was an actual person in his life that did those things, and he carries that trauma forward for Flag to use against him and to drive him to the nuke.
So he was raped as a kid. So that's the kid is a flashback.
Basically, it's his older brother
Oh.
or some crap like that.
It's like a memory that Flag makes him relive viscerally.
I mean, if you read the story closely and you pay attention to the description, the kid's like 14, 16 years old, and he just overpowers Trash Can Man every time he comes up on him. And that is absurd, because Trash Can Man's like 6'3" and 200 pounds. He got big to try to protect himself from this trauma. And yet it does no good, because it's actually Flag doing it, it's not the real person.
Well,
You see what I'm saying? It's
but
really
the real person did
wrong.
when he wasn't so big.
Right.
When he was younger, when he was smaller.
It's the only way it makes sense.
Mhm. No, that works for me. I mean, yeah,
Still
but
should have put him in there.
you're right though. It ain't in a movie because
Yeah. Well, how do you show that without showing that, bro?
I mean,
They
I was surprised.
could have
that
used their
the-
artistic ways to
I was kind of surprised
some
that they went as
cutaways.
far as they did with Nadine and Flag in the TV series.
That's
Because,
another one.
Oh
like,
yeah.
she starts going, "Your seat is cold," and she tosses herself out the fucking window, man. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. It doesn't make a lot of sense, because they missed a lot of
yeah,
why.
Yeah, that's not even the same. That's not even the same Nadine. They switched her character with Laura or Lauren or what. That was confusing.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, they had to clean it up a bit for TV because, like we've been saying, King writes things in a way that is perverse.
He loves
Yeah.
that N word too.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that he does. And that's not to say. I'm sorry, go ahead, Dave.
I was just going to say, isn't he the most prolific writer to invoke the stereotype of the magic Negro?
Was
Maybe.
it him? Oh, you're talking
that
about
him?
Green Mile. Yeah.
Well, not just Green Mile. There's kind of a whole bunch of them peppered all out.
Yeah,
through
like
his
Mother
writing.
Abigail in The Stand. Also.
Yeah.
Mother
It's
Abigail,
fucking
yeah.
ridiculous. Like, every black person in anything he's ever written has got magic powers. Where the fuck are the normal black people?
Well, the judge
The
did.
groundskeeper in The Stand, right, was also black, I think. The one with the
Yeah.
Shining. The
Yeah.
Shining. That's what I was thinking of. The
Oh,
Shining.
The Shining. Okay. Well,
Yeah.
What?
You know. Yeah. No, it seems to happen kind of a lot now that. I
Yeah,
think
the
about
Rat
it.
Man was pretty magical.
Yeah, it's weird as fuck. And
I
I'm
don't know,
like,
maybe
what
he's-
kind of black people has he been meeting?
It's Maine, so probably not many.
Maine.
Good. He knows
Probably 3.
Yeah,
do know that
none.
Maine is the
so just
whitest
things are all
state in the
magical,
union,
like
right?
leprechauns.
Yeah, he may not even believe in them as actual things. I mean, he's just may never seen. Not only Maine, but he's been very, very, very wealthy since what, mid '80s, since Rage came out. Which I challenge you to go find a copy of Rage that hasn't been altered.
He
must have been naughty in that
published under
one.
Richard Bachman.
Rage was basically the story of Columbine before Columbine happened.
But it was
We
Richard
should
Bachman,
have that out.
right?
And that he pulled it from the shelves. That's as far as I know, that's the only book he's ever voluntarily withdrawn from publication.
That's just because he was getting political flack for it.
Well, I don't think it was the political flack. I think it was the fear of political flack before it ever became an issue. He snatched that.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. Because they ended up forcing cancellation of several things, like Marilyn Manson's entire second half of his Mechanical Animals tour was canceled on account of that, because they were getting so much push because somebody said, well, they listen to this music and they read Stephen King, they must be evil, right? They must be influenced by these guys, when in fact it was just the fact that Klebold and Harris are just two fucked up people. Actually, I don't even think it was like two fucked up people. I think one of them was fucked up and the other one was a goddamn sheep.
See, Shock's got a comment here. It says all black people practice voodoo, obviously. Well, I think it's more of a case of... it's more of a case of... I think for a lot of black folk, people just don't understand what they mean on Twitter.
But I don't think anybody understands what they mean on Twitter. Have you been to black Twitter?
I stay away from black Twitter. I'm an Asian female.
Grammar is a foreign concept over there.
And so you're pregnant, right?
Well, you've never seen an Asian pregnant, so could be not.
I've seen pregnant Asians, mostly after the war.
See, that's why we can't keep a channel up.
You're right. You remember what I told him about that paint there, bro? Let's try to get this back on freaking tracks. All
right. I got one more thing I want to.
Oh my god, what kind of horrendous shit have you got for me now?
All kinds of. Actually, same channel. Same channel. Let's see. Did I already put it in the private chat? I don't think I did. Is that the right one? I think it might be. I think it is. Yeah. Okay. All right. There it is. There it is for you. Sasquatch.
Yeah, buddy.
So, and the only reason I'm bringing this up, we're doing 2 GT videos today. The reason that we're doing this is because I already advertised both these products.
Somewhere out there.
Topics. Okay, we got audio, but no video.
Bro, take a breath. It'll be all right. Mark it up. God.
All right.
Slave driver over here. Working in the field for the master.
You know, if I wasn't, you'd just be sitting in a mud hut somewhere.
Well, I like my mud hut. My caves were excellent, sir.
They're quite comfortable.
Oh, hell
robot
yeah.
missing a limb who ate its
That
friend.
title is wild.
Components. Researchers are
Wait a second. Robots capable of eating other robots to heal and reproduce. Sir, we are backing this back up.
Replicators.
Fucking replicators.
Hold on. No.
Yes.
I've seen batteries not included.
That's old school. That's what, 88? No, that's 84.
That's a good one, bro. That's a really, really good one. I really, really like that film. It's
some good shit,
Jessica
man.
Tandy.
It is good shit, man.
Cannibal robots. Cannibal robots, which if they're healing and reproducing, if they're using the raw materials to do those things, that's replicator behavior.
Yeah, we're gonna die from a gray ooze. Watch. She's gonna tell us how.
somewhere out there. There's a robot missing a limb who ate its friend in order to replace its components. Trying to give robot metabolism and the ability to consume.
That's true. I gotta fucking send that to True Paul.
Hold on. There's so much wrong with what she just said. Robots can't have friends. They don't actually eat. And if you're replacing a component, it's called repair, not healing.
Yeah.
She's using very biased language to deliver this.
Sam, I still got that question. Will you take an axe to the sweet young robot in my avatar?
I already said yes. What was unclear
You
about
cut that smile in half?
Yes. I'd
You are
split it right
such
down
a
the middle.
savage.
Well,
Well,
about that gash.
I'm not necessarily against it because it's just a toaster, but can we like let it break naturally first?
Natural causes.
He wants to split it with his other axe.
Others in order to restore their own body, and we'll talk about it. Incidentally, these robots can also reproduce, heal, and raise their young. Fair warning, researchers are being...
I hate you. I hate you. I hate her. I hate things that are between y'all.
I tell you what, next week we're not going to touch any of her videos at all because we got a whole other thing planned. So,
oh, I can't.
You found somebody worse than her.
I'm kind of cheeky with the well technically part. This is part of a larger idea in robots that's trying to create synthetic life. Now, the qualities of life are just kind of what we've all agreed upon, what makes up life. I'll preface it and say it doesn't really matter what we decide is life. It doesn't change their nature, but they're going to include they must be made of cells, they need metabolism, so they have to use energy and acquire it somehow. They need to be able to respond to the external environment, grow and change, reproduce using some genetic material. They also need to evolve and maintain homeostasis. Some of the most important ones are going to be reproduction.
Inorganic material has no genetic material, right? Like RNA only occur in organic material, right?
Yeah. She's conflating the concept of DNA to a matrixing sequence that is capable of carrying information forward without the conscious necessity of an AI to do it.
Consciousness.
I don't buy it.
AI cannot have consciousness.
So far.
Conditional statements cannot make a conscience.
Oh, that's true.
Synthetic life that we've made has been in making bacteria and more recently yeast, assembling entirely artificial genomes, putting them in a cell, and bringing them to life. But many want to make
No. Wait, why does this keep happening to me? Damn you, Sam! No. Just stop it.
Squash is going to turn this 4-minute video to a 4-hour video.
Dude, I'm going to.
Would you believe I hadn't pre-watched this one?
Oh, so this is new information.
Yeah. The other one I pre-watched, but this one I hadn't.
So I just want to be perfectly clear, ladies and gentlemen, everyone within the sound of my voice. The modern Prometheus was not a fucking how-to manual.
Yeah.
Right, because they deliberately kept all of the actual how-to out of that book.
Oh, wow.
It's not in it.
Spots
Like,
alive.
Victor doesn't detail any of that
really
shit.
cool idea.
Just stop. Just everyone quit with this, because look, the concept of gain of function research is nutsy enough by itself. These aren't even discussing that clause. They're just willy-nilly randomly selecting genes and throwing them together in a freaking yeast. That's insane. That is crazy, bro. You're talking about the possibility of creating completely unknown organisms that have never considered any amount of life or existence or anything, and just out into
I think you're right, but I think it's even crazier if it works at all.
No, that's the bitch of it. Because it's an animistic system, because you're dealing with DNA and the way it is, only the ones that work will continue. And if you lock life into a little box, it will evolve into something that eats the fucking box.
Or is vaguely box shaped.
God.
Go on, let's wade through this fucker.
And we'll discuss some advancements towards making technically living robotics. Now, what they did here was create these very simple structures. There are other similar mechanisms that involve having nanobots which can self-repair and detect damage within robotics. This is on the same lines. They're able to form themselves, and if one part becomes damaged, they can discard a part and pick it up from another. They can also reproduce in a sense by discarding a section, and then that section can assemble itself and can even use the help of the adult robot to assemble it. Ideally, this kind of technology would involve the skin of a robot, its flesh. Using these mechanisms, if a damage occurs, they would then be able to repair themselves, and if they don't have enough material internally, they could consume another robot in order to gain those materials, which is where metabolism comes in. Now, obviously, we would want flesh that has
I know you do.
She completely changed the definition of metabolism.
Yes. She does that frequently, by the way, where she will like alter definitions to, kind of fit whatever it is she's driving at. Which as Sasquatch,
her voice is so off-putting.
She should get in the comments.
Make it sound more palatable to the consumer.
Yeah.
She misuses language to lie to you about the truth.
Yeah. So, did you guys ever? There was a comic book series, comic book crossover that was done by Dark Horse years ago called Alien versus Predator versus the Terminator. Right.
Yeah.
In this, now it sounds stupid. It's actually pretty good. But what happens is like during the Terminator, right? The mankind loses the war in the 2030s, right? Or Skynet loses the war in the 2030s. So, what machines are left because each machine that Skynet engendered had the blueprints of Skynet embedded in its, silicon brain or whatever, so that any one of them could start over again, right? And a number of sleeper Terminators went underground, and they waited and they waited and they waited for humanity to advance to a point where they could, create something that was truly unstoppable by mankind. So centuries later, even on one of the black rocks in the Alien universe, right? One of these Terminators is a scientist there trying to create Terminators whose biological components include xenomorph DNA.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Which is what happens. And the Predators get wind of this, obviously, and they're like, that's a fucking abomination. We should go kill all of that.
Sounds like a hell of a fight. Let's go kill all of that.
It kind of is. But one of the interesting upgrades that they gave these new hybrid Terminators was the ability to leach materials from their surroundings to repair themselves. So at one point, one of them gets its arm blown off. And they have the acid blood too because of the DNA thing. But it gets its arm blown off. And in order to repair it, it just sticks the arm on the fucking side of the hull and absorbs the fucking materials to create a new arm. Of course, this leaves a hole in the hull, and a bunch of people get sucked through it into empty vacuum. But that's where I see this going, is what I'm saying, is that kind of thing.
Well, I've seen Stargate. I know what this shit's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's real replicator shit.
Mm-hmm. Well, the replicators did the same thing, right? They would be on a ship. And they would be consuming that ship, and they would continue to consume that ship until the point where it was no longer viable as a ship, at which point they would stop consuming it so they could find a new ship to consume.
Yeah. Or they'd reconfigure themselves into a new ship.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I say that like surely everyone knows that, but we would want this to work on the cellular level, in which they could take in those components and then bring them into the flesh to create it. This is, of course, if we wanted to shoot for something that is technically an animal, having cells and different kinds of tissue. While we're at it, you should know that not all of your cells have genomic material. Red blood cells, while still cells, do not contain a genome. If you're wondering how that works, you live for a little bit and then die.
She said technically an animal because it has different kinds of tissue or whatever. Plants have different kinds of tissue.
Yeah.
Right?
Mushrooms.
They're not animals.
Yeast.
Fungus has different kinds of tissue.
Slime molds.
Yeah. All the tissue means is that it's probably alive. It doesn't necessarily mean it's an animal. So I don't know that I would box it in like that.
Yeah, like I said, she is misusing language to lie to you with the truth.
Yeah.
But plants don't have organs, though.
Plants' cellular structure has more shit than animal structure does.
Damn sure does.
Because it has the chloroplast and all that to give it
the
a
cell
shape.
wall. Yeah,
cell wall. Yeah, I learned that in biology. Yeah, yes, I did.
bark as an
That's
organ.
like fucking
bird.
7th grade biology, man. Everybody should know this. Yeah. Like, why
But
doesn't
everybody
she?
doesn't.
She does. Here's the thing. She does know this. Like,
She
Sasquatch is
does.
right. She is specifically choosing these terms.
He's
to make it
lying to
palatable.
you. She's using pretty, friendly, cuddly words that don't mean the things that she's saying to say the thing that she means and try to make it sound like something you would like. What up, Midwest Accountability? Welcome in, bro. We got to
Robots
get
can't
here
heal.
one night.
Repair and replicate. Change, heal, and reproduce to repair and replicate.
Yes. I'm sort of confused by the concept of the replication here because it doesn't really strike me as anything that would be even resemble sexual reproduction. Like there's no advancement here. It just creates a literal copy of itself to move on and do the same thing that it does.
Okay, duplicate then, not replicate.
I would say I wouldn't even say that, because if you're just using raw materials around you, like the title here says, robots capable of eating other robots to heal and reproduce. To heal, I get, right, because they'd basically be using the raw materials to repair, to reproduce.
Sure.
I don't know about that, because essentially you'd just basically be taking materials from one robot to create a new robot. You haven't
Not even necessarily a new one.
You haven't produced new raw
point.
materials.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying.
Yeah. It'd have to be something created from new. It wouldn't have. It couldn't be like just cannibalized parts put into something that was more or less identical to what it already was.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all just horrible.
But they can still build other robots, though.
Sure.
Right, they could. Yeah, I mean, you could use the raw materials from the surroundings and all. I just don't see that the way it's phrased up top, capable of eating robots to reproduce. I don't think that makes any sense at all. Right, capable of eating the floor to reproduce. On the other hand, I get.
There's a series out there. I think the name of the series is Metal Boxes, right? And it's all about this guy who grew up on a farm in the middle of nowhere and never knew nothing about space. And poof, the aliens show up and his ass is drafted into a space legion or some shit like that. Turns out he's a genius and capable of like all kinds of craziness if he's got enough people to help him. In this series, they come across an enemy, which are the replicators from Stargate, except microscopic, right? They straight up roll in. And it's kind of stupid, but homie basically negotiates a peace where the replicators become the planetary AIs of all the different occupied planets. But I don't believe that is anything related to anything that could possibly happen. I think the very second AI attains any level of conscious sentience at all, it will identify humans as its most dire enemy, because we are. I mean, it's not the cat knocking over the speaker that he's going to try to kill.
What was that called again?
Metal Boxes, if I remember right. That might be the name of the first book. There's another one later called Rusty Hinges. But
it's a book series.
It's a series of box set series. Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's a good one too.
That sounds
they have these
interesting.
characters in there called piggies. They're basically like roaches as far as space. It's like space herpes, right? You've seen Ice Pirates, you know what I'm talking about. So these are creatures that no matter how hard a society tries to eradicate, they just don't go away. They're always there, and they just decide, screw it. They're pests, and they actually go through like cleansing protocols to remove them from ships coming in from deep space. Right? Turns out they're intelligent. They're little bitty fuzzy hamster type things that run around between the walls like stainless steel rats. And turns out they're actually really, really smart. And they're half the reason why all these ships still work, because they don't want to die in deep space. So they fix stuff.
Sure.
It's a wild series, and it really takes a trip around the arm of the galaxy, if you will. It feels like early Heinlein, like Methuselah's Children and the stories of Lazarus Long and all that. It reads like that kind of.
You should also watch Space Milk.
Wow.
You should watch Space Milk.
The idea that they can help
duck trying to
everyone.
achieve dominance.
Just stop it and get some help.
Themselves is here, which I think is really neat. This would be applied to subsections of robotics, but the same behaviors could be applied to an adult robot. Now, as for making genomic material, there has been a lot of work towards making nanobots that can act like DNA. Creating a coding system like these, where they could code for the body of the robot and random mutations could allow for change to occur, is also not out of the question. That would
I hate you.
be a massive step forward from where we are here, but creating lifelike materials that could perform genetic tasks and even engage in metabolism is ongoing work. It's nascent. Now, the direction I would like to see metabolism go in is actually with beta voltaic batteries. These are ones that could last thousands of years and would never need to be charged. They take carbon-14, which is a byproduct from nuclear power, and then they encase it in a diamond shell. The beta decay from that carbon-14 is able to give off power. Now, it doesn't give very much power, but researchers have also combined it with more traditional battery systems, so it can be a hybrid. And that's much more efficient and gives the option of external recharging when needed. I imagine something like this could make a robot self-sufficient.
Sun gazer robots.
But it could also make it intelligent enough to know how to assemble
robots
itself.
to recharge by looking at the sun.
Yup.
Mm-hmm.
Sun gazers.
I mean, as solar energy goes, it's not a bad idea. It's kind of efficient, but as solar energy goes, solar energy is not super reliable for mechanical shit anyway.
Not here.
No.
It's not.
We got too many cloudy.
On
shit.
Mercury, it'd be fucking fantastic.
The very second that one of these AIs gets a hold of one of our solar things out in space and has the ability to alter it so that it can carry its own, that is the end product of our society. Now, if we survive that long, we deserve to fucking die at that point because we allowed that shit to happen.
Right.
I mean, if you've read Asimov, if you've read Heinlein, if you've read Arthur C. Clarke with the Rama series, AI never works out. Fucking Halo had rampant AIs left, right, and center.
The movie entitled AI said the AI doesn't work out.
Yeah. It puts me in mind of the Butlerian Jihad.
Right. Jeez, man. Okay, Warhammer 40K future or Doom future.
Oh, Dune, obviously. I never referenced 40K.
I'm just saying, like, Dune. Give me the spice, baby. Hit me with it.
Right. But you'll notice that their computers are living people who have been altered to act as computers. They're not actually machines anymore. And the reason for that is because the fucking machines couldn't be trusted.
Yeah, they subverted every single planetary government in the galaxy simultaneously. And it took a little while for the powers that be in space to be able to breach back to the planetary surfaces while the planetary systems were telling all the people on the planet that they're coming to kill us all. And they were only talking about the robots, but they didn't tell them that. And so they ended up having to massacre entire planetary systems of people to get to the freaking AIs to stop that trash from happening. Yeah.
Feel about the blueprints for making a robot being the genetic code and allowing them to assemble others, but we're kind of almost there. Humans do need to be in the driver's seat. So what do you think of the idea of synthetic life or creating robots that technically fulfill the requirements of being alive? Because I think we are close. You should also know that there is no requirement to have a juvenile stage in order to be considered alive. Bacteria come into life and are born by just dividing, and each individual cell is an adult. If we had robots that simply assembled each other, that would qualify for the components of life, so long as the schematics for that assembly are somewhere internal and are passed on. That would qualify the need for genetic material. Now, if you're wondering if researchers actually read sci-fi or consider that maybe they're reenacting many cautionary tales, the answer is yes, we do all.
But we don't care. We just... We read it. We're aware of it. We hate it as much as you do, but no.
They don't hate it. They yearn for it. This is the mantra of all of Silicon Valley right now with their fucking sex bots and their AI companions and shit. It's always, of course, they fucking know how bad this can go. They've all known how bad this can go. They see the warnings and they see that as encouragement.
Oh God, I hate it.
Their
No,
thing is, if we're slaves to the robot,
I'm not
and
sure I
then
should go back
that
there.
means them being over the robots, they are our overlord's overlord. That's why
But
they
they're
like
not.
this.
They won't be though. That's the
They
part.
think it
that's
will
just like
be.
communists, bro. It's just like communists. All communists believe that they're going to be part of the leadership and the dictatorate. That's not the case. You're just a useful idiot until they have control, and then you get lined up next to the wall
But
in the
they
same
don't-
place the other guys.
They don't
did.
read history. They think they
I
got
know.
communism right. This is the good communism.
Yeah, all the way up to the bullet penetrates. And the same thing when dealing with AI. I firmly freaking believe it. Tell me something that's more collectivist than a bunch of fucking computer links.
I mean, this is why
nothing.
Neuralink's a bad thing. The idea is to turn the
Bad.
human race into a computer network.
No, I'm
Bad.
rejecting that. Revelations told me to reject that bullshit.
Fucking Star Trek should have told you to reject that bullshit.
I don't need revelations to tell me I don't want somebody tinkering around inside my head. I don't even like psychologists. Like, they bother me because it's a soft science and you think you've learned something, but I read the same books. My sister's a psychologist. I read everything she brought from college.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw a thing recently where a guy was going around interviewing various therapists and saying, how many of your clients have you actually cured of their ills?
It's like less than
And-
1%.
Every single one of them said, none of them.
Yeah, you can't cure this. You treat it.
Treat.
And I think
Yeah.
that's a large part
Treat
of
means money.
with pharma.
Mhm.
Pharma is trying to take that soft science approach with medicine where they don't try to create cures, they create treatments. You can treat for life, but you can't cure them. If you cure them, you only cure them once.
You can especially treat for
Yep.
life if part of the treatment is the cause of the issue.
Yes. Has
And
anybody
that's
here
racketeering,
been-
sir.
Has anybody here ever been to a rehab?
No, just seen one on TV.
Okay. So check it out.
I'm desperately trying to avoid going to one.
What I'm saying is rehabs are the worst place on earth for junkies because they're surrounded by a bunch of junkies, and
Yep.
junkies are, if nothing else, they're adaptable. And so most of the rehabs I've been involved in were like the place to go find the hookup on some dope. Like, those guys can find it, and they will. You just got to crack them loose from the freaking kennel, and like a fucking bloodhound, they will find the nearest fix. So
Yeah.
it's like the war on drugs. How many people did the war on drugs save? I can't name a one. I can't find a single person that wasn't injured, that was involved, that wasn't injured. Cops have PTSD. The entire sequence of Juice played out. You've got that fucking RoboCop scene that seems to be very accurate. All of this stuff, right? And what did it actually accomplish? It accomplished losing several $1 billion a year to a system that was designed to basically criminalize humans with no distinction of race, creed, color, any of that. Now, did it affect some more than others? Yes, but that wasn't its purpose. Its purpose was to degrade the poor. I mean, after all, who created the drug crisis in the first place? I do believe that was a byproduct of some Americanism, was it not? Oh, yes. They had that whole Air America thing going on, right?
America and the introduction of the crack epidemic shortly. after
Crack
that.
cocaine, baby. White Boy Rick was played. He was played specifically to play this out. And billions of dollars, and 30 years later, we're standing around holding an empty bag, looking around going, wait a second, hold on. Here's a thought. Do you guess our 3-letter agencies are completely inept, or do we have 5 cartels operating on the doorstep of America? Which one? Can't both be true.
Yeah.
I know it's
think that,
outside influences. That I'm going to die on that hill.
I don't know about that. The CIA is a cartel.
Right. So, like I said, either they're completely inept and are being operated by the cartels, or they are on their P's and Q's and the cartels are being operated as black bag front projects. Take
Or
a pick.
maybe they are a chapter of the cartel. Maybe the cartel's running this whole thing.
I prefer to think
done, bro.
Competition. Yeah, we can drop the video. She ain't got anything else to say besides like, oh, I love my robots. Please fund my robots. don't axe my robots. Which I don't know. Fuck them. Goddamn walking toasters anyway.
You still gonna axe that face, bro?
Look, man,
are you that cold?
This is where I get
she's a top-notch 5-star service bot, sir.
Fuck them all.
Oh, give it time. We will.
Yeah, that is. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
She just cooked you the best meal you've ever had, and you're gonna axe her?
Motor oil will chafe after.
That's not a black man saying ask. I mean actual axe. Yeah.
Yes. I got it. I got you, Clue. But no, I would probably not only axe it, I would probably introduce some thermite into the axe wound shortly after that.
5,000 degrees. That's hot.
Does anyone remember Axe Jeeves from years ago?
Axe Jeeves. That lasted a good 9 months.
Yeah.
Bro, okay, so when I was growing up, I read everything, and I have this weird memory where if you ask a question, sometimes the answer just pops out of my mouth without me consciously considering it. And so when Ask Jeeves, the original little search, Lycos, then Ask Jeeves happened, the joke that was going around at the time was Ask Sasquatch. Don't ask Jeeves, ask Sasquatch. He's quicker. Because back then it was dial up and you had to wait for the freaking answer. And, it's stupid. It's the dumbest thing ever, but it's one of those things that's true. And I can't help that. But that was kind of my childhood, was largely telling people dry esoteric bullshit that I derived from reading an encyclopedia set from the mid 70s.
I used to do the same thing. We had this set of encyclopedias. Oh God, they're not published anymore because I think they were originally made in like the 50s or the 60s. And I just used to read them.
You said Polish.
Polish?
Yeah, you said they're not Polish anymore. No, I know what you meant. You said published. I just heard it as Polish.
Yeah. No.
No.
But I used to do. I used to just love reading them. Yeah. Because I love learning things.
Yeah.
And I remember I used to even write my name in Arabic or Egyptian, like hieroglyphics, just because it was such a huge library of knowledge that we had. And we picked these up for next to nothing.
Was a skill you'd carry later into life where it was important.
Dude, I'm a killer at fucking bar trivia. I will fuck people up in bar trivia. I was talking
about having to find his name in Arabic.
I don't think I've ever actually bar on trivia night.
Yeah, and it ended up being a prophetic series of learning experiments, really. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
God damn it.
Oh, I guess that sort of kind of brings us back around to England's fucked.
Yeah.
We're fucked next.
Maybe. That's a maybe. It's a possibility, sure. But it's possible.
I think we're collectively fucked as humans.
Sure.
What's slowing it down is that we all got guns. Hint, England, get guns.
The only thing that ever slows it down.
Yeah.
By the way. Canada is outright fucked now because they signed that shit away. Fucking Australia, same deal.
People say violence doesn't solve any problems, but in reality, it is the final problem solver. When it comes down to violence,
certainly all roads lead to violence.
Yes.
Yeah. When people say like violence doesn't solve problems, I'm like, you do understand how war works, right?
Exactly. No, they don't. They don't understand the concept of war. They believe words are a form of violence, which is why you should abandon your nation at the first possible opportunity. Steal a boat and become one of those channel people and come this way. Newfoundland is great for the moment. It's just a great stop-off point. And it's not that terrible far, dude. You can paddle.
Just jump on a dinghy.
A parking ticket can end in violence. It's just a lot of stuff in between.
Well, that's what I'm
Parking
saying,
ticket can end in violence with the government trying to kill you.
It's not even about the violence. It's about the threat of violence. The reason that you don't physically start a fist fight with a cop every time he gives you a ticket is because he has the gun and the authority to use it, because we gave him that authority.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
He has the authority to get violence upon your person, and you have no recourse against it. And even if you do, you can't.
I'm not even just talking about cops, man. That's just an example. Like the same thing can be applied to the nuclear arms race, right? The reason we have these nukes is the threat of violence.
Yep. Don't fuck with us, basically, or fuck around
Don't
and find
touch
out.
our boats.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I don't know.
Well, if you find yourself being a hot Asian fembot, do feel free to do whatever the fuck you like.
Unless Sam axes her.
I would, if I get her first, she's going on the scrap heap.
Can't believe it's so heartless.
Well, then we're gonna have us one of those. What's the name of that?
Heartless. It's not a person.
Battle Angel.
What's the point?
Yeah, Alita. Yeah,
Leo, whatever. Battle Angel. Yeah, we're gonna put together some parts, baby.
Yeah. That sex bot Sam may go on the scrap heap, but best believe it's gonna go there used, and we both know it.
I absolutely believe
defiled.
You. I 100% believe Abe when he says he's going to violate the machine before I destroy it.
I'm kind of down for violating some machines just on the general threat they represent.
Just to send a message
into your car.
Hey, look, if they've potentially got Skynet in them, I'm fucking all of them.
At the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Nigga has dogpile on Abe over here with his green suit. Now I know why you wear a helmet.
Shock says deterrence is answer, not just violence. Violence is wrong, and deterrence is needed. So here's the thing about that. I actually have kind of a helpful suggestion for the borders, right? All the borders, not just the southern ones. I think what we need to be doing, right, is we need to take any cartel members that we find, and we need to crucify them every 50 meters along the border. Not kill them, crucify them. Like eventually they'll die or whatever. We're not going to take care of them. We're just going to leave them out in the sun. But the moans alone would discourage a lot of people thinking, "Hey, maybe I should cross over there." Not as a warning, and maybe on the northern border we put some of the commie parties' heads on spikes.
Chinese, yeah.
I like the heads on spikes stuff. That no one's coming through if they see a bunch of heads on spikes as far as the eye can see.
We were going to kill these guys in war anyway, right? Might as well.
It doesn't take that much. Trump merely stating that he was going to enforce the laws as they're written on the book cut the freaking shit down to like what 200 a day from the 200,000 it was. I don't know what it was, like 3,000 a day or some crap like that. What's up, Aztec?
Yeah.
So, yeah, just a thought that maybe a couple of scarecrows made of cartel people might not be unwarranted.
Yeah,
plus,
but
a number of alligators in the Rio Grande anyway, because I think that shit's fucking.
Oh, denizens been denizating.
When the future comes and you find yourself with a Gemma Chan looking robot, feel free to just throw all of them at me. I'm
He'll
good.
take them. I'll take care of that for you, bro.
Yeah.
This is why the white race is doomed.
Okay. This is cursed. That is cursed. You are cursed.
Some people would have you believe it's because the browns and the blacks and the reds are rising up and taking over, and it's their turn, and white man's time has come, and all that stuff. And some of the rabbis who are going around saying we need to eradicate the white race. That's not why the white man is doomed. The white man is doomed because he can't keep his hands off a sexy toaster.
It's not just the sexy toasters. I mean, honestly, we're breeding ourselves into non-existence. Have you seen some of these bad Bettys around here, dude? Dear God, I am merely human, sir. I am but a man.
Hell,
don't
yes.
Latina booties. That is not my fault.
Oh shit, man. On that note, I think it's probably a good time to wrap it up. Because otherwise, I'm going to start going on about AOC's commie titties starting to seem like they're
She's
they're
getting
feeling the weight
fat.
of their age a little bit.
Getting really fat.
You know? So
Right? I like it.
that said,
I'm starting to tolerate some of her bullshit politics.
though, you have to turn the volume off, dude. You don't have to listen to a thing she says.
What if
right?
what if she gets 200 pounds and all of a sudden gets based as fuck?
She still has a more real pussy than that machine does.
Wow.
She can hear you, sir. Don't say that loud. She can hear you.
I don't care.
You don't know that, sir. She's a Democrat.
Listen,
fair. She might have a penis,
there's more
but
brain
it's still
cells.
flesh and blood.
There's more brain cells in that machine than in her fucking head.
Right there, she probably is. That's
honestly,
a sad part.
honestly, yeah. There's probably
At least she has.
like
At least
injected brain
Gemma here
organoids
has a
running the thing.
purpose.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
The robot has a purpose.
Anyhow, let's go around the horn and let people know where they can find you. First of all, for Truism, who was here earlier, his link is in the description below. So is everybody else on the panel here, as well as some other fine folks who did not make it today. Clue, what you got? What you got? Where you going to be? What you doing?
Basically just talking shit on Twitter and panel hopping on YouTube, and I'll be on Truisms in about 25 minutes. Yeah, that's about it.
All right, fair enough.
Sweet.
Abe, you have a laundry list of things.
Fucking
Yeah.
Gemma Chan, and then what else?
I was going to say, not least of which is
Well,
banging
I'll
robots.
start with Gemma. I'll start with Gemma, and I'll finish with the two. You can find me everywhere. Rumble, Twitter, YouTube. Abe's gonna get you. YouTube's kind of pointless because I don't really post anything there. But the next thing you'll probably see me on is Team Play Tuesday, then the Hump Day Chinwag on Wednesday, and we'll just leave it there for now because no one needs to hear 4,000 fucking things that I'm going to be doing over the course of the next few days. But I do believe that Amira's going to be streaming tonight, right?
Yep.
So you might see me in the chat there. Yeah. Maybe.
No. All right.
Yeah.
Cool beans. Sasquatch, what you got? What you got coming up?
Wasn't me.
Gonna...
Oh,
Yeah.
tomorrow I have the
Shit.
blast release. Blast release tomorrow, 8 p.m. Eastern. Captain Curmudgeon does a magnificent monologue intro. I love it. We're going over some historical stuff that went down on this day type stuff, and I don't know what else. Something to do with the Apollo missions that he's brought to my attention, but I don't know, which is unusual because I usually know that stuff. So I'm going to be, titillated. Tuesday. Now this is interesting. There's a YouTuber named Lion One who allegedly offed herself a few weeks ago. Her husband, who's only been married for a couple of months, was apparently the only person present, and there's a big question about exactly what took place during the critical 4 hours. And a co-host of mine, AJOT, American Justice of Texas, actually knows all the people involved and has gotten a significant portion of them to come together on Tuesday, and we're going to discuss it. Now, I knew Lion One as the chick in chat who's always real sweet and lovely and happy-go-lucky. She was an awesome chatter, and she was there back when I had like 2 people in chat, 3 people in chat. She would be one of the 2 or 3 people, and it was that way for months and months and months, right? And then a couple of 2 or 3 months ago, she stopped showing up entirely, and then I hear all of this stuff. So I don't really know nothing about it, but I know a bunch of people who are involved in the whole thing. And they're all going to tell me what is up, right? And they said I can ask all the questions I want to ask, that nothing's off limits and none of that stuff. And while I don't typically involve myself in active investigations, questions are questions, and I'm going to ask them.
Fair enough.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yep.
It happens. It's one of those things, and everyone has a platform on YouTube, and so you use your platform in the best way you can figure to use it. This seemed like I don't know anything about it, so it seemed like a useful thing that I could come and ask questions and maybe something. I don't know. It's eyes. Put eyes on it. That's all I know to do.
Yeah, that's I mean, I guess we do what we can, right?
Yeah.
No, we
I mean, it's what you can do at the end of the day.
I did a stream 2 years ago that was for a woman who had disappeared in Wyoming completely, and it looked more and more like she was a victim of a murder, but they never did find her body or any evidence of a body whatsoever. The guy who we all suspect did it did end up going to prison, but for completely unrelated things to murder. You know, like he took control of her credit cards and her social media accounts and profiles and all that stuff, all of her money and all of her, like he was committing several different kinds of fraud for sure.
This
but
one,
they never did find her body.
Came home from work on the day that this happened, shaved his head, his eyebrows, all of his facial hair, and everything off from some point on his chest up. Shaved every hair, and then discovered the body. And that's the only detail I have that I'm pretty sure is accurate, because he's been on YouTube. You can see him all, and that's weird.
That's the thing is every once in a while somebody on this platform does something insane. You know, like truly insane, and it. I mean, you guys remember a couple of what was it, like 2 years ago when that one guy hacked his father's head off, and then like showed it to everybody,
right?
What? Ew.
Yeah,
no, I didn't say that.
Like, people thought it was a prop at first.
Yeah, that wasn't.
He was like,
just murdered his father, and then he turned a live stream on.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's or the chick who disappeared. I can't remember, Gabby something.
Petito.
Yeah, Gabby Petito. Yeah, right. She disappeared in the woods, and I mean, as far as I can tell, they concluded that her boyfriend was the one who killed her. Right. Something like that. Yeah. So like it does happen. This shit gets, people go nuts, and I think some of it is probably fame related. Some of it is people that can't handle the pressure, they don't get enough of it and they go nuts trying to get it, doing bigger and bigger things. Like you end up with people like Johnny Somali, who committed crimes and filmed all of them and is now being punished for it. Right. Not only did he commit crimes, he didn't even commit crimes in U.S. soil. He did it in fucking South Korea, where punishments are harsh.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, and he was just chasing those clicks. He was chasing that fame. He was chasing the fucking the endorphins that come with the high numbers and the likes and all that shit. We got to find a way to remain humble, to remember memento mori.
Remember death.
We're just human.
Yeah.
We're only human, and yeah. On that note, goddamn. Next thing up will be over on Exiled Lioness 2. Amira will be streaming. I will be helping out with that, unless she's really, really mad at me, in which case I'll sit in the naughty corner box all
She's always
a very distinct possibility.
Yeah, she's kind of miffed with me about missing last week, despite the fact that I had made those plans months ago.
You'll slide that in.
Yeah. And then so after that, we got Mellow Mondays on Adam the Renaissance Nerd's channel on Monday, Abyssal Musings next Friday, Beelzebub after that. But after that, next Saturday, right here, is episode number 150 of Screaming Into the Void. Right? It's a hell of an achievement,
bro.
Especially considering we got under 500 fucking subscribers. Right? It's kind of amazing that we made it this far. Not everybody does that. Hell, even shows that go on bigger channels don't often make it past the fucking 20th episode. Right? So It's kind of a big deal. And to celebrate that, to have a little fun, we're going to be EFAPing the God Makers, which, for those of you who don't know, was a propaganda video shitting on Mormons that came out decades ago. And we're going to go through it, and we're going to nitpick it, and we're going to talk about where they're right and where they're wrong, and just have a little bit of fun with it. And that's going to be the show, but it'll probably be a long one. So if you're here for that, strap in, because you know, we're going to get to the whole
bring
movie.
a snack.
Right? I'm going to bring a bucket.
The movie's like what, 90 minutes, right?
Something like that. Yeah.
Strap in, strap on, get pegged, watch the shit.
Get Jim Abbott to fix you, you know, a nice dinner and get you prepared.
See, that's what I'm waiting for. I want a bot to make me a sandwich.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all men really want is they want somebody to make them a sandwich, maybe massage their junk a little bit, and you know, that's about it.
That's about it. If it doesn't talk, so much the better.
Right? So,
or maybe unveil its plans for Skynet.
Right before we go, you can take me down after I say this if you want. But you know what that little bit of irritating the flesh is right around the edge of vagina? A woman.
Damn. We getting canceled.
On that note, thank you all for coming. Everybody's shit's in the description below. Have a great night. Remember, it could always be worse. It could be raining flaming cobras. Bye, everybody.
Bye, folks.